Good evening, everyone. It's me again. Machines in the office. Anyway, it's me, and I've got a great guest with me tonight. I've got Shauna. Shauna, he's a good lad, good lad. Knows everything about baseball. He's unbelievable. He's an incredible sports enthusiast. And hair curling is it? You know what you do on the ice. You know, he's a master. He's a master at that, I believe. So we'll be asking him about that, all this curling and hurling. And Yusuf, I reckon we're saying rolls into vegans come Saturday. That's a good one, man. I like that, Yusuf. Yeah. Evening, Frank in chat. Evening, TW. Evening, shut up. And Sean says, hit the like button, please. Yes, hit the like. Hello, Frank. How are you? Hope you're okay, says Paul said. Yes. Especially after last night. Especially after last night. And hey, Kelly, Frank. It's great, isn't it? You can get all that on Ireland. Yeah. Daryl. Hey, Frank, so everyone being in hospital, I had a mini stroke last week. Hope everyone's okay. Blimey. Jeez. Well, as long as you're with us. As long as you're with us. And as Sean says, thoughts and prayers. Okay, Daryl. And we can't wait to get you back home when you're well and fit enough, okay? And I'm going to bring Sean on now. And there he is, look, smiling and everything.
Yeah. All right, Frank. I don't know anything about hair curling.
Do you know what? I was watching that once, and it's strange the way they got like a brush and they're running after this thing that's going down, together in that circle. And I see one where the fella tripped over the thing. He slipped, on the ice, tripped over the thing. But the fella who, he threw the thing, just kills it, whatever you do. He had amazing. He was running down off amazing with the fella with the brush. I think it was one of those funny things,
There's Martin. How are you, Martin? All right. Gary.
Is that Martin Mason? Yeah.
Martin Mason. That's me. That's me co-anchor.
Oh, is it?
Man, Martin is on AKM live on AKM LFC on Mondays or on most shows. Yeah.
Okay.
Top guy.
Well, what about Adam? What is on? That's AKLM, is
it? So Adam is AKM LFC.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit of a joke there. We kind of know each other. I know Martin from my YouTube page, Fenway We Come Not to Pay. Martin was part of that.
Right, okay.
And I got to.
Do you want to get him on here now? Do you want to get him on?
Yeah, if he wants to come on, I'll send him on the link. Okay. Hold on a second there.
I'll just say hello to these because look, they're all there.
Yeah.
They're even wishing the other fellow well, Daryl. Get well soon, says T to Daryl. Yusuf, I've got to go through these because they're all good lads and they all look after one another. That's horrible, Daryl. Hope you're feeling better. Get well soon, says Yusuf. And Daryl says, I'm okay, everyone. Was game good last night? Yeah, the game was terrific. Absolutely brilliant it was, Daryl. You want to, I don't know if you're still in hospital, but if you get home, watch the highlights. Watch the highlights on it, and you'll be made up. And we're going to go through it, Sean and I.
Yeah.
We'll be given the likes of, I'm not saying out of 10 or whatever, but how we played, how the lads played on the pitch. That's
Martin said he'll.
Yeah, go.
Sorry, Frank. Martin said that he'll be around in 10 minutes. He's just out of the shower.
Oh, okay. That's great. Oh, that'd be nice to meet him, actually. Did you go? Yes. Yes. And even in Francis says Tony LFC. And there's me 2 pints. There's me 2 pints. Frank Hello from Dublin says Gary Rigby. Good evening,
All right, Gary.
From Dublin. He's a good lad.
Weather's terrible in Dublin.
It's shit. It's shit. It's raining here, actually.
Yeah, it's really bad here. I got drenched.
And there's Darryl saying, I saw the highlights. Shane McGowan, I haven't seen him for ages. Evening Shane. Good to see you back. And Martin says, Frank, been watching your history shows, loving it. Oh, thanks. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, there's Jamie. Fucking hell. Evening, Jamie. Jamie, do you want to come on? Say yes. I can't send you. I'm hopeless at sending links. So Sean O'Hare will send you the link. That'll be fantastic.
I wonder, can I send it through on YouTube, I wonder?
Yeah, just send it through that.
Oh, hold on now.
And Darryl says, Lou Funeral will be streamed on Facebook. I'm not on it yet, Darryl. Facebook. I'm not on it, mate. I'm sorry. I'm really not on it.
I don't know what that.
While we're waiting for the others, hopefully they'll come on. What did you think last night, Sean?
I was very surprised with the lineup because I kind of thought that he wasn't going to rotate the team as much as he did. My concern was obviously with Endo and Jones in midfield and Gomez and Kwanzaa, because they're not used to partnering up. So I thought that was going to cause some issues for us, and it kind of did, actually. The defense was a bit dodgy, but obviously the first half wasn't great. Really, really bad defending to concede the first goal, but Jota just flying it and Gapco, and obviously Salah as well. It was great to see. Chiesa, I'm telling you, he looks good. He looks sharp.
Can you just 1 minute? Jamie said, I can't tonight, mate. I'll jump on. Brilliant.
Good stuff.
Brilliant, Jamie. Try and make it a week tonight. Please. And that's great. That's great. Thanks, Jamie, lad. Thank you. Gapco looked good. What I saw on highlights. And says Darryl. And the Anfield, hope you're well, Darryl, Mary. Right. Okay, I'm sorry to interject there. Just wanted to get to
No, not at all. Not at all. But yeah, obviously Gapco had a fantastic game, and I was delighted because, I mean, he was knocking at the door trying to get on the score sheet, and it finally paid off for him. And I really thought that the man of the match for me would have been Gapco. Jota got it, but I think Gapco played very, very well. No, I was really, really happy with the game. Really, really happy. I mean, I said 2-1. I thought it would be a much closer affair, but you just can't rule these guys off. You really can't.
But the thing is, you see, that Um, I wanted Jota to play, and
Yeah.
strangely, or coincidentally, whatever you want to call it, the night before I was saying I hope Jota and Nunes play together. I hope they're there, playing.
Yeah.
And fantastic, fantastic, and they were. And Jota for me, I give him my man of the match. Actually, I give
Yeah.
him my man of the match because I'll tell you for why. Sean. Oh yeah, there's is that Martin? Yeah, there he is. Look.
Is he
Hey
clouded?
Martin.
Hey
You
mate.
okay?
Hey.
Good to see you.
Yeah, same. How's things?
My things, it's all right, it's whatever. We just go through life, don't we? And the only saving grace is Liverpool.
You just got to plod on, haven't you?
That's it, I go back, I go back years, to be honest. I built the pyramids, But anyway, through the 80s, we went through Liverpool. And you'll know people, who's going through the 80s. And football, and that includes Everton as well, because Everton were a great side, a really good side in the time. And they saved the city, both Liverpool and Everton, from apathy. They really did, because we were becoming apathetic with the Tory government and whatever, whatever. But I didn't want to get into that. But now, it's great. We see, no disrespect to what I'm going to say here to the current coach. When Klopp came, I go back to Shankly, and he changed the whole format around because what he did, he embraced the fans, he embraced you and me, and all the lads on the chat. That's what he did. He embraced us, just like Shankly did.
Yeah.
And he transformed Liverpool because the other two managers, the last two we had was the Irish lads, from Northern Ireland. Someone said he's not Irish, he's British, so, I don't know what to call him.
We don't claim him, Frank. We don't claim him.
No, that's what I mean, so I don't know.
I get grief myself because obviously I was born in England, but I support Scotland, and everyone says to me, "Why do you support Scotland?" Well, all my favourite Liverpool players come from Scotland.
Yeah.
Why do I want to support England and not England and Scouse? Just get on with it.
There you go, Scouse, not English. Thing is, I support the Azzurri. I support Italy. I've always had to, through my family, through my mother's side of the family, because my uncles and granddad and everybody else, supported the Azzurri, of course, and they supported two other teams, over there, they supported Napoli.
Oh, Napoli, where love is good.
And Inter. Now, Inter, believe it or not, two things. One, Juve is like the Manchester United in Italy, if you know what I mean. Everybody.
So crap.
Yes. And Inter, believe it or not, is like the Liverpool. The way we get lambasted by other fans and whatever.
Yeah.
And that's true, That's true. They're like the Liverpool Inter. So, and I was told that years ago as well. But nevertheless. But anyway, we were just talking last night, man, about the game. But we haven't really mentioned the game, and about how the lads played. I came out. I came out and I said about Jota. He was my man of the match. I'm being honest, because what I wanted him to do, he lost confidence in front of the goal. That's why Slot, or Sloot, how you should pronounce him, he dropped him. That's all. That's it. He just dropped him. So I wanted him to get into that team and show what he really can do, and he showed it. He showed it with a brace.
Yeah. This is what
And
I said about Nunes. You know, I've been the biggest critic of Nunes for a long time, and when I seen him score that goal, and like I said to Sean the other day on our channel, you know, I was so proud of him. You know, it was amazing the emotion that went through him when he scored that. It was like that the players didn't trust him in a way to give him that ball, and he's took it on himself and he's buried it. It's like the emotion, and that's like all the players from years ago. That actually, he's not give up. He's still playing for that badge.
yes,
You know, and Slot is giving him that chance.
but you know what? I'm glad you said that, because there was one incident last night where he fought for the ball on the byline. You know, it could have easily have gone out for the free kick, and he fought for it. You know, and he got it. You know, that's the fight in the lads. That's the fight in Darwin. And he
I
was
think
a
he's been told, hasn't it, that this is going to be his last season. If he doesn't step up, he's going to go. And I think he's fighting for it. And he's being given that 10 minutes now, where Klopp was a bit reserved on it because he knew what was coming. But Slot, he's under. It's like Diaz. Diaz is performing really well as well now. They've all got their own little areas that it's like I said to Sean, it's Barcelona football, it's triangle football they're playing,
and it's working. It's working.
Absolutely.
Can I just go through these comments? There's only a few.
Yeah, go.
The Anfield Road. Good evening, Frankie and Sean. Oh, drink these. He's got me an alcoholic, you know. At the Anfield Road. And Daryl says, how can Cara say that's I don't know what that is. The Gomez arm. Oh yeah, the Gomez. His arms were tucked in. Not only that, but Cara actually said as well, didn't he? I was watching the highlights and that, and he said, "Here's what he said: West Ham deserved a goal in the second half. The way they were playing. Is he having a fucking laugh or something?" I couldn't believe what he was saying, Carragher.
I don't understand Carragher saying that, because, I mean, if you give away a penalty for that, you might as well just throw your hat at it. You might as well just tie their hands behind their backs.
Well, I'm going to ask you on these two comments. Let me read them out. I'm going to ask you about them. Okay. And it's the Anfield Road, actually. It's I don't like the news that keeps coming about Salah and Trent. It's this club's duty to sort out negotiations. Also, isn't it FSG strategy to have young players, and Trent's contract is now worthless? Okay, that's one. The other one is, it's a nightmare. As he may leave for nothing, this continuation of players leaving for no fee is ridiculous and needs to end. Sick of Real Madrid pinching players for nothing. Too damn you. Yeah, it's the Bosman, isn't it? Really, the Bosman. So what do you think of those? I'll go to you, Sean.
So I couldn't agree more with Anfield Roar, although we're fighting for that watch of yours, Frank. I have me wrist ready just to put on me watch. We'll have a few drinks with Anfield Roar to be able to look at the watch on me. But I couldn't agree more with him. FSG are kind of flagged as good businessmen, but how is it good business to allow players like that go down to the last 12 months of the contract? And it's either they accept the contract or they don't. And what I've noticed is that, if they don't accept the contract, then the media go out and villainize them as if to say, oh, they were just looking for more money. And if they're looking for more money, then, Liverpool is bigger than any player and all this kind of thing, which in fact it is. But in saying that, when you're losing your captain, your vice captain, and your leading goal scorer for every season that he's played at Liverpool. I think that's disgraceful. And regardless of whether we've gone through sporting directors and what have you, the buck ends with FSG and Mike Gordon. They knew the situation. They should have sorted it out this time last year when Klopp was very much Liverpool manager. Regardless of change of manager, you can use that for any old excuse you like. But, I mean, we've really got to look at what they bring into the club, what these players bring to the club, and what they can continue to bring to the club rather than their age. And I understand that FSG have this policy to offload players or not offer them the kind of contract that they deserve. And I would ask anyone to, Google San Diego Padres and the fire sale of '93 under Tom Warner. They literally had a garage sale of their players to offload players off their wage book. And we've seen this, year in and year out with FSG. And we really need to start looking at football. We need football people. I understand George had said to me there in the last week, you're not going to get owners that are that love football. But I'm not too sure whether that's true or not. You have ambitious owners. I mean, say what we like about Man City. Man City owners want Man City to win, to do well. And yes, they're breaking financial fair play. And yes, they're doing it the wrong way. But Amanda Staveley, I'm sure, wanted to do the same thing with Newcastle. Chelsea. There are teams that are spending money and are keeping their top players. And I think we really need to do that. I mean, we're no longer, supposedly close to administration. We're a club that are doing well financially. And we've got to stop acting like as if we're, in the Gillette and Hicks times. That's done. That's over. I'm not talking about spending money foolishly. I'm talking about spending necessary money. And that's what we have to look at. And necessary money is getting those players' contracts.
Okay. What about you, Martin? What's your take on those two comments?
I said that the best three players that we've got, they're all coming up. And I've discussed Salah. I'd give Salah whatever he wanted. We need to keep him. Yeah, I get the age is a bit high for FSG, but at the moment, he's in beast mode. I've said that. He's picked himself up. He's found his right place under slot. Trent deserves it. I think he should be given another contract. There's no way FSG can turn around and say, we can't give him this, we can't afford that. We've just got rid of 25 players. That's 25 wages took off the bill. There's no reason for him not to give him that extra bit of money. And then we've got Van Dijk. I personally think Van Dijk is going to go. If he doesn't and Trent goes, I can't see him at Barcelona or Real Madrid. I reckon he's going to end up at Bayern Munich for some reason. I really do.
Well, the thing is, you see, what I'm afraid of, forget the sabbatical, with Jürgen, forget that. He's going to Real Madrid. I know that. He's going to Real Madrid. And Trent's turned around, hasn't he, and said he loved him. He loves Klopp. He was like a dad to him. He nurtured him. He brought him through to what he is today.
Yeah.
Think about it. Think about that, lads. I'll just go through some of these. Just think about that. Disaster if all three leave, I'm afraid. Van Dijk has been good. Trent has been good. Salah has, yes. Yes, we can't. And the Mighty Reds 97 says, Frank, you should seriously be the narrator for a Liverpool documentary because your voice is so soothing. I love it. Shut up. Well, that's all I want to say.
I think the reason Klopp is gone. I know we've got a new era and we've got to start talking about Klopp, but I think Klopp has disappeared because he knew he couldn't get any more out of FSG. He knew they were playing Moneyball. He knew that all the money was going back to the American freaking baseball team. He didn't want a documentary doing. He fell out with Michael Edwards and that, and he knew that they were coming back. He's not tired of football. He doesn't need a rest. He was tired of being told, no, you can't have this player, you can't have that player. We went in for Sancho, was it? Not Sancho, for Bellingham.
Yeah.
We couldn't afford it. And then we got 110 million coming for Caicedo. It's full of shit, really. You know, I think he just got fed up with it all and went, you know what, I'm tired of yous. I'm done, I'm gone.
I'm going to tell you something now. It could be tomorrow or it could be in the next couple of years. Right? Could be. Believe this. Right? FSG will sell the club. They could sell it tomorrow. They could sell it next week, next month. Within 2 years, it'll be sold.
But that would be amazing, but it's going to be pointless in a way. You know, because I hate FSG. I've never liked them since the day they were there. I would do anything to get them out of my club. But you can't, this transfer thing, what is it? The
Moneyball.
The Moneyball, you know, you've got to finance your books. You can't, you know, you don't want the Arabs coming in or you don't want these coming in. You know, what's the point of having these big owners in now? City have killed it for everyone. Chelsea with Abramovich killed it. You know, you've got Newcastle. They've just had them come in. Amanda Staveley's leaving. They want to sell up. What's the point of having it?
That's why she's left.
You just can't finance your fair play. You just killed it all.
I've been told this, you know, and there's representatives in Saudi now. There's representatives of Liverpool Football Club in Saudi now. And, you know, where it gets me, you know, I know some will crucify me on this. They talk about, oh, we don't want the state money or whatever. I'm going to say this now. The biggest criminals on the planet is America. They are, you know, they cause wars all over the place, kill a million Iraqis.
Absolutely.
They forget what they're fighting for.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the other, but even, I mean, look at the human right. I mean, you can't cherry pick where you want to have your morals and principles at. If you're talking about like, you know, human rights, look at AXA, look at Nike, you know, look at Standard Chartered. Standard Chartered, there's rumors. Hello, Doug. There's rumors of Standard Chartered allegedly funding terrorists.
Well, you know, I'll tell you what they're into as well. Do you know if like us three owned like a factory, whatever, an industrial complex, and we had all the lads on the chat working for us, but they weren't making like jumpers or, you know, whatever. They were making missiles and bombs and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they were making. They were making all these, and that's what they're all into now. They've got shares in everything. And I mean everything. These are big businessmen who buy shares, who know where the money is. And it's not just football clubs, it's everything.
Yeah.
So, it's like all this Everton stuff. You know, as much as I hate Everton, mate, it's going to be bad for the City when they go down, isn't it? You know, we've got champions. They're doing all right, like, but come on, Everton. You know, we're gonna have the best ground in the Championship. Could be League One after it though, but you know.
Yeah. As you know what, I have a lad coming on here. You know, he's just on the chat, and he's an Evertonian. You know, and he knows how bad they are.
Yeah, but there's more Evertonians who want us to lose the Champions League final against Madrid or Man City than Liverpool
Every
fans who want them
time.
relegated.
In what
Exactly,
way?
bro.
They were dancing. I know this for a fact. They were dancing in the street. Do you know when Man City, they were 2-0 down against Aston Villa, and they come back to
Yeah.
score the, to win the game, because even if they were to drew the game, we would have won the league. And they were dancing in the street that we lost.
That's
There you
like
go.
Spurs wanting themselves get beat them, so Arsenal don't win the league. They're not wired up, mate.
Yeah, true.
Well, I just think it's bitterness, to be honest. Well, it's not bitterness now. It's turns into hatred.
Entertainment now, innit?
Yes, but as JK said, the Anfield Roar, interesting points from the panel, but I also get very frustrated that on these boards, all decision levels, I feel it should be mandatory to have a football brain on these decisions, ex-pros of our club. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That goes without saying, though. I mean, that's a bare requirement. That should be happening, but it's not.
Well, listen, guys, I'm gonna have to shoot off because I've got to go and get some homework done with the little boys.
Sound, man. Nice to
All
meet
right,
you.
They've been doing the dishes there.
Pardon?
They're doing the dishes there. So
Oh no, that's the wife, Sean's wife as well. He keeps trying to rob her.
Hey, listen, it's been great to see you, Martin. Thank you.
Yeah, all of us. See you in a
See you
bit.
later, Martin.
Yeah.
Take care, man.
Ciao. That's lovely, that. Nice fella, him, isn't he?
He can't turn himself off. There you go. Yeah, no.
I like him.
He's a top lad, absolute legend. I'll be seeing him next week, so be looking forward to it.
I'm going to go through some of these. My thing's going all over the place, my little punter. Right, hang on. Midnight Talker. Liverpool Football Club is bigger than any player. And they say, happy days if they don't. Good luck to them, and thanks for the memories. Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm sorry there. I'm sorry. I couldn't make that word out. If they stay happy, if they stay, happy days. Sorry, I couldn't get that there.
Mm-hmm.
Our Paul was my own today, this morning actually. Good evening, Frank and lads. Call me cynical, but FSG get rid of big earners, replaced with cheaper options. What do you think of that comment?
That's all well and good if the cheaper options do the job, or as good as the more expensive options. But it's not a case of always spend big. It's spend necessarily and spend wisely. No one here, certainly not me, would be calling for us to be throwing 2, 3, 400 million on a player or two players even. But
yes.
That to me has never been the case. It's grand to get a cheaper option, but as long as it's the better option for the club, it's all well and good saying, there's no player bigger than Liverpool Football Club. There isn't. You're right. But then if we get rid of Salah, if we get rid of Virgil, if we get rid of Trent, if they leave on a free, then what? Who's going to replace them? So
what would you say to that, JK?
I would say the contract situation is sort of winding me up in the background. I just want to get it done and let's carry on with the football this season. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just lingering around that topic is, and like if them three guys go, they're going to save a lot of wages in a week, nearly $1 million a week. So
Well, it's
that's
a topic that, well, it's a JK. It's a topic that concerns fans. That's why they comment.
yeah. For me, it concerns me to a level. But I just think these guys can't really afford to lose them 3 quality players. You know, not all at once.
You said that, you know, you and I, even before the beginning of the season, actually said we can't afford to get rid of our main players, our spine, and those three, the spine, the part of the spine.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, to replace them, who are you going to replace them with? Yeah, Kwanzaa for Van Dijk, maybe. Connor for Trent. So they've got lined up sort of replacements already. These guys, you know. But I think there'll be a lot like a war if them 3 guys move next season on a free. Whoa, I wouldn't want to be in FSG shoes, you know. They're 2 big players, like 3 big players there. You can't afford to lose them 3 guys. So, but for me, me and you said, Frank, it could be the January transfer window. Them 3 signings there, that's our January transfer window. There you go. And the thing is, the longer it don't come, like we're in September still, so we've got a couple of months. So they'll keep us like waiting. Oh, bloody hell. 6 months down the road, they're all going on a free. Surprise, we give you 3 contracts in the January window. No one's really bothered about getting a DM or someone else in, you know.
But JK, like, you know, clubs can approach them in January. You know, clubs can approach Salah, Trent, and Virgil in January. So, you know, that's not good business. I mean, we can throw that whole cliche and that saying, you know, there's no player bigger than Liverpool Football Club, and I think that tends to be kind of misused and taken out of context. It's not to be then all of a sudden careless with the players that we have that play for the jersey, that want to continue to play for that club, but because the owners don't recognise them and think, well, they're getting on a little bit, we'll just get rid of them. That's not good business.
You know what? Quickly, I just want to say is like, see, when you look at the back in the days, we got rid of Coutinho. Like he was for me the biggest name we sold under Klopp, and we used that money to get Virgil and Alisson. But we haven't really got rid of any stars from our team for big money. You know, Salah could have gone, say, last season, could have got 150 million for him, you know, and they didn't do it. So in that way, I'm happy that the guys actually ended up staying, and the owners didn't sell any of them. You know, I'm not bigging up FSG for doing that. For me, that's just common sense. They're your best players. Give them good wages. Keep them at the club. You know, but they could have easily got rid of Salah. They could have got rid of Trent this summer, just gone. Realistically, I'm not thinking they're going to allow a guy who's probably worth 150 million when you look at Trent as a player and the way the transfer market is crazy. For me, Trent is worth 150 million pound. I don't think they're going to allow him to leave on a free. They can't. Like, that's just ridiculous.
No,
I would have just sold him in the summer.
Yeah, we discussed
You know what I mean?
They're going to get, the 3 of them are going to get contracts, and they're going to come out and say, and I keep reiterating this, they're going to come out and say they're like 3 new signings, and there's your signings for the January window. So,
but the way I'm feeling right now, I'd take that, because I'm not sure what's going on with these 3 guys. You know, and I don't think any fan is really. Not like, because we support Liverpool, we're going to say, yeah, these guys are all going to sign a new contract. But we don't really know what's really going on, and I think the longer they leave it, the more sort of desperate fans are going to be for just getting them signed in January. Like they could be signed by December, you know, and as soon as the transfer window opens, boom, these 3 guys have signed a new contract, and that's your window. So,
I just don't think that we've really dealt with our business all that well in terms of contracts in general. I mean, there's players that are going down to the last 24 months of their off their contract, and I have a sneaky suspicion it's going to be the same issue that it is with Salah, that it is with Trent, and it is with Virgil. Again, if they aren't going to offer them a contract, then they need to get rid of them when they can get money for them. And obviously they haven't done that now. So you would expect them to be in a contract. Whether that happens or not is another thing. But it's it does nothing.
They've let a lot of players leave on a free. When you look at their record, you could build a top team with them free players.
Exactly.
And that's what I don't really understand about the owners in that way, where they're so tight when it comes to outlay on players. Like they won't really go over the top with the spending sprees, bar Szoboszlai, Virgil and Alisson, for example. But the way they allow players to just leave on a free, it don't make sense to me. I'm thinking these guys should get at least 20 million for whoever went on a free, like Genie, whoever it was over the years. They could have got a fee for all of these guys. But for me, if they all leave on a free, that is not really good business method. And I'm thinking, I'd rather they actually gave us an extra year than actually reselling Salah last year for 150 million. Would they buy anyone with that 150 million? And that's why, for me, Salah staying an extra year, the one that he's going to end his contract with, is, for me, I'll take that, because I don't really trust the owners in that way where they let players go on a free. I just don't understand that. That's why Chelsea are offering life contracts for all their players. Why? Because they don't want to lose their players for free. Because they can get 20, 25, 30 million for probably most of them players in that squad, even though they're not all great, but they'll get a fee for them. So that's why they're getting them long contracts.
Okay. Well, I'll go through some comments anyway. The Anfield are continuous links to Rodrigo to replace Salah and bloody Frimpong to replace Trent, for me, is irritating.
Oh. Yeah.
And I Franken guess, says Richard Hutchinson. How are you all doing? American, Freemason, Illuminati, Israel, Zionist. They own big companies around the world and social media. Many thanks, and you'll never walk.
Lyrics, Richard.
There you go.
There you go.
There's no stopping our lads. And the Anfield, America continuously interferes in other countries' democratic leader. They tried to assassinate Cuban leader and did this in Nicaragua and Ukraine before Zelensky period. Absolutely. That's why the Elds are there. That's why they had a coup d'etat in 2014.
There's even an issue in Ireland at the moment where there's a smear campaign against the opposition party Sinn Féin, and they found out that this was all coming from the States. Coming from the States. So,
everything.
Yeah.
I've done the Irish question. I've done it.
Yeah, but for me, it's like when you look at Back to the Future, the film, America is Biff. You remember Biff, the big guy?
Yeah.
That's America. It's like man-made. It's a country where the Europeans realize, you know what, we can use that country as a bully. So we can just use them as the main media source, whatever it is. And when you look at history, that's what's really happened, It's just loads of capitalists, businessmen, just making like load of businesses over in America, and with that money they just sort of control politics. But for me, Back to the Future, Biff,
Well, everybody, the whole of Europe, the whole of the Western world, have to ask America for permission to do whatever they want to do. Every time. Why is that? Why do they have to ask their permission?
But just the mindset of humans in general, they're so brainwashed that they don't know if they're coming or going. So whatever comes on the news, they're going to just take it. Say, oh, yeah, that's right. Come on, man.
That's great, I love our lads. Well, Frank, look at Jürgen. Was tired of squeezing FSG green lemon. Every drop is squeezed out of it. Then is affected his mental health. Plus Saudi war criminals. Well, the old EU, NATO, US are worse. Thank you.
I'd
Thank
agree
you.
with that. I'd agree with that. I mean, I
100%.
for
100%.
I would kind of disagree a little bit with Martin, and I love Martin, but I would disagree with the fact. I think Klopp was tired. I've seen him in press conferences where he was literally green in the face. I think.
Well, to be honest, though, Sean, he was tired. You know, there are two words in the English language and the Italian language and every other language, and it's yes and no. And he was tired of the no. He was tired of being humiliated about players not coming here. One of the most humiliating was the Jude Bellingham affair, when his family were actually here. And he was saying, you know, this is where he's going to stay until he finds a place. The lads wanted to play for his boyhood club. And his boyhood club, as a supporter, was Liverpool Football Club. He couldn't wait. His mate was playing here, his mate. And that was Trent Arnold. So if you think about it, and the way it went from two fellas going, directors of football, two within 6 months of each other, and then returning and Jürgen leaving. If you've only got to put 2 and 2 together and come up with 4, not 5.
Exactly. And guys, why in the Lord of God did media not pick up on that or not say anything about it? Why?
Well, they want to look. The media. It's hard to explain. Who runs the media? I just said, didn't I, there before about things, right? About things that they have to ask America for everything, right? They run the media. They run the media around the world. You're getting fellas here now, journalists. They won't say a word about Liverpool, the club they own, because they get brought into the press conferences. They get the little tickets, so they won't say a word about them. And it's as simple as that. That's where your journals are. But you know, when say like they left tomorrow, the owners, the stories will come out there because they're cowards. They are cowards. If you as an investigative journalist and you had, everybody's got everything. It's all written down. It's all there. It's all ready to go to press about the ins and outs of everything. And yet people believed about Bellingham. His head was turned towards Real Madrid. It wasn't turned towards Real Madrid. That's pathetic. That's pathetic. It wasn't. Have I gone?
No, you're still there.
Oh, there I am. I don't know what happened there. I vanished.
No, we were listening to you.
You're the new invisible man.
I couldn't see anyone. Just went off. Anyway, yeah, I like that. Richard says Americans do business behind closed doors and control the world. Anfield, big off JK, loosen that watch strap on Des Lynam's ankle, would you? I'm going to show you there, just in case.
Bless Anfield.
Just in case, there's new people here, and this is what you can win if you join our fantasy football thing. And if you ever need anything, and you want, go to that Scarf and Badge just by the ground there. Fantastic merchandise, that's reasonable, and they're very good people.
That's beside the flat iron, isn't it?
Yeah, right by there.
Yeah,
facing it.
I love the flat iron.
Yeah, it's great. I went to when I was married. I wasn't married there, like, but when I was married, I was going to like my wife's sister's wedding, and so anyway, they said to me, "Will you become I forget what you call them, and show them into the pews where they have to sit?" I said, "Yeah, all right." So anyway, I was standing there for ages, and I went, "Oh, I'm going over there for a bevy." So I went over for a drink in the flat, right? Because the church is just facing us, So anyway, it was bevy there, and he has another one, I had another one. And you should have seen me on the video. I'm swaying all over the place, falling over, showing the
Anytime,
people into the pews.
anytime I go to Anfield, I'll go and I'll there's a takeaway just close to hat, scarf, or a badge. I think it's a kind of a Chinese takeaway chipper, and then there's a hat, scarf, or a badge, and then there's the flat iron. But I get
Yeah.
the best curry chips in that place.
Oh,
Oh God, it was amazing, amazing.
yeah, no, they asked me where have you been, and I said I was showing the people into the art, but they were looking at the video, going, "There you are, there." I was sneaking out. They could see me going over to the just through the doors over towards the pub. That's where you were. You were in there. No, it wasn't. Anyway, the Anfield Road, American continuously interferes in other countries. Democratic leaders, they tried to assassinate Cuban leaders and did this in Nicaragua, Ukraine before the Zelensky period. Yes, I did read that. And James says, Frank Yeager was tired. Yeah, read that as well. I'm sorry there, because once I take something off, I don't know where I am. I really do. Right, LFC versus Wolves 5-1. We have Brighton in the next round. Yeah, next game, Wolves. Please, can you do a breakdown, pre-match analysis and lineup and prediction? We will as soon as possible. No better than Trent or Mo, says Paul Bay. And he's spot on. You just can't
You'd be hard pushed.
There's no one better than them out
No,
there.
or Virgil,
Oh, Virgil, yeah. Oh, Virgil. If Klopp was still here, he'd fight to keep the players. Don't know. Yeah, don't know if Slot will, says Edward. He's got no say in the matter.
Yeah.
And the prize, Callum says, Richard, Wolves 1, Liverpool 3. And the Anfield Road. Slot right now is having a lovely rise. I think is done well. But it will be interesting to see how he and this news cope without Klopp's transfer out. That's the real test in the next. That's a cracking. That is one good comment.
Yeah.
One good comment that, because it's not now. See, don't forget, nothing against Danny, but he's got all the Liverpool players. He has all the Liverpool players. Because Jurgen left us with a fantastic.
Yeah, because he wasn't walking into like a United or a Chelsea who were in a mess, He was walking into a club or a squad that's proper been looked after the last 9 years with Klopp, That's why I'm sort of. It could have been difficult for Slot if you really look at it. Imagine some of them players are a bit like the United players or the Chelsea players, and there was upset in the squad and stuff. His arrival wouldn't have been so smooth as it's been, So I think he should. I think he sort of thanks Klopp inside. He's thinking, you know what, Klopp's left me a good squad here.
Well, okay. The Midnight Talker says, I'll go out on a limb and say Arne is better man. Oh my God. I didn't realise he said that. Time will tell, of course. I say that because Slot has got Liverpool playing better than 3 months with his players.
I wouldn't say that
He
myself.
comes down,
After 5 games, you're going to say that, or 6 games, and
okay,
Klopp has had
no,
9 years.
yeah, let's see what the lads say. Anfield Road, Midnight Toker bold statement. I looked at it as he inherited a talented player pool. He has a long way to go to be better than Klopp right now. He is doing okay so far. Okay. The Pride says, think about what happened in Hollywood recently. This world holds dark secrets, especially the ire. P. Diddy, now we're getting.
P. Diddy, oh God.
It's all like set up. The amount of times that every year it's someone else, it's like a pantomime. Oh, it's your turn to go on the stage, and they're like, all right, Hence why they get all that fame in the beginning, because like one day they know they're going to get.
Hang on a minute, Jay. This is very important, this, mate. Very important, this statement. The Midnight Toker. Imagine if we had Grav ripping it up as a DM last season. He was under Klopp's nose. I'll answer that. Gravenberch wasn't fit. He hadn't played for a full season. He had no pre-season. He was on, and if you think that Gravenberch was one of the great players last season, behave, please, Midnight, please, give us a break.
Frank Adam is coming on there.
Is he?
Oh, yeah.
I just want to say to all the lads out there, join the fantasy thing, right? And you can win this watch. And there's the if it's not too late, is it, JK?
They can join anytime.
There you go. And
only if they have a worse team than me, though. They can't beat me.
Okay.
We've got to do a points show, like have a little quick review of it. I think after this weekend's games, next week, Tuesday, maybe, we could do a quick review of the league and stuff.
Okay. And there's the watch you can win, boys. It's a cracker. It's perpetual motion. It's a French-Swiss made or Swiss-French made watch. And there's the inner there, it's right on the back. You don't need to get another strap or anything. Everything is adjustable on it. That's why it's a fantastic little prize of yours truly, me. If you win it, good luck with it. And I'm going to bring in this fella here. Now, this fella, I'm bringing Adam in. If you don't know him, he's an international skier. He's unbelievable. He's an incredible skier. He broke a world record 4 years ago, and it still hasn't been broken. And he's unbelievable. And he's a great figure skater. He's a great figure skater. And I think America tried to, bring him over there and nationalize him and be American, and he'd win all kinds of gold medals and everything else. And there he is. It's Adam. Hello, Adam. How are you?
I can't hear you, Adam.
That's the ice skating music.
That's great. Has he gone?
No, I can't hear him. There's music in the background.
Is that his music? It's not our music, is it?
No. No, it's gone. No, we can't hear you, bro.
You can hear us, but we can't hear him, unfortunately. Anyway, Jeff says, good evening, all. Evening, Jeff. I think he's here.
Evening, Jeff.
Good evening, Jeff.
Barbecue sauce on chips. Told you we get everything on this stream. Everything.
At least we're not talking about Amanda Stavely.
This is mad. This. Is he on? What? Is he coming on?
Yeah, he said he sorted it now. We're just waiting for him to come up.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Is that better? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
No, I can't hear you. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, that intro you gave me earlier, I don't think I've ever had that before.
So you're not a skier then, and you're
No,
not a figure skater. No,
no. Unfortunately, not now.
But Sean says you were. You say, you know.
Yeah, I got a curler.
I got
a curler. Yeah, that was my intro. Olympic curler. I thought, should I have my hair in ringlets or something?
What are you talking about, guys?
You can't beat. You can't beat a good cash and curry. No, you can't. And the Midnight says we only stopped playing America back for World War II. It was under Gordon Brown, the deputy leader. He paid the last instalment, and it wasn't just World War II. It was World War One as well. World War One. That's what we owe America, and we still owe them. That's why we're up there. KP says P. Diddy was in the fantasy club. He was no better than a pimpin. That's all it was.
I wouldn't even mind. I actually went to a P. Diddy concert. Now I'm feeling really bad about it.
Okay.
I
actually met one of his guys who was in his crew. I'm trying to think of his name. But he left. He turned Muslim and stuff.
All right.
And I had a real good chat with him, man. He was actually a nice guy. Oh, what's his name, man? I'll find out his name.
It's the sideline. Am I echoing there?
Yeah.
I think we're all echoing.
We're all echoing, but it's not coming on the. It's not coming out on YouTube. It's only coming out on the actual StreamYard.
Yeah,
I think it's with StreamYard.
Well, why? Because we were all right, weren't we?
Yeah. It's been happening a couple of times with us.
Well, the sideline says, I'm a bad at fantasy football. I think I'm 7th or below. And the sidelines carries on. I am close to the relegation zone in your fantasy league. And James, Frank, panel and chat. Salute from a fellow Red. You'll never walk alone. I've just subscribed. I think at a chat. Okay, we'll talk about this, and we'll go right to Adam because he knows everything about Zubimendi and everyone else, skiing and whatever. Chance of Zubimendi in January is out now, or is it out the window? He'll go to City after Rodri injury. Adam.
I don't think Zubimendi. I don't know. I don't think Zubimendi's like that. Like the way he comes across like a genuine guy. Like the only reason he stayed at Real Sociedad is because the club put pressure on him. He's been there for years. He's like grown up there and everything like that. It'd be like Trent leaving here. Do you know what I mean? So I honestly think that if he gave his word to Liverpool that he'd come, and then if it was between Liverpool and City, I think he'd probably end up going to Liverpool again. But it depends what Liverpool do in January, really. I don't know. He's got a release clause, so Real Sociedad can't stop you if you pay that release clause. So it's all down to him in it again if he wants to move or not.
Okay, what about you, Jay?
Say again, sorry.
The Zubimendi thing. Someone's just asked about, Zubimendi out the window now, or is there a chance of him coming in January?
You know what it is, Frank? After each transfer window, there's always like media news about, he might come. As soon as the transfer window closed, within 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, say, the news is coming out. Oh, he might come in January now. So for me, there's too much people saying things that might not even be bloody true. And I think a lot of since social media has been on the scene, that's rampant. People making up stories that don't even exist. Who told you? Who told us guys that we might go back for Zubimendi? Me and Frank, that the way they wanted to pay for that fee in the summer, it wasn't the way we should have paid it full cash. There you go, we'll take the player. They wanted
Simple as that.
installments. So for me, we messed that deal up ourselves.
Yes, totally messed it up. And that's what their president said. The president, he said, just give me the money and you can have them. I don't want installments. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that killed it. The installment nonsense killed it. Killed the deal, that is. But, whether if he goes, okay, let's say that he's going to leave Sociedad in the January window. And let's say this happens. He said that he loves Liverpool and everything, and he was sorry that he never, whatever he said. And all of a sudden, Manchester City coming for him, and he went there instead of Liverpool. That's what I call a mercenary football, and you get them.
No, I agree with that. To be fair, if he was to go to City over Liverpool, then yeah. But I don't know. I feel like, judging off what we've heard and everything, I do think that it's ours if we want him. I think and then if he wants to move type thing. So because obviously I don't think Liverpool would have gone so far down the line if there was no indication from the player that he wanted the move.
But we've gone so far down the line with Bellingham and what happened there.
But we know that happened. FSG pulled that deal.
Exactly. And El Presidente there said that we fluffed that as well. So I think there's an element to a lot of things. Of course, you're going to get the clickbait merchants on X and all of that, and the indie colleagues, whatever, saying that they're not really knowing what's happened. But I don't think Zubimendi regrets his decision. I don't think he's going to go to Liverpool in January. I don't think he's going to go next summer.
I just believe Sean about the Man City not having Rodri. You could just see him just waltzing in there.
I'm going to phone Jay up because to see if he can sort the second one out, because I've got a message there saying it's coming from Sean.
Me?
Yeah, hang on a minute. Go on. I'm just going to remove you.
Hello. Testing.
Okay?
Hello.
No, that's still echoing, isn't it?
I'll jump in and out again.
No, hang on.
It's probably me, to be fair.
Testing.
Okay. Yeah, we're still echoing.
Right, take me out.
We're not echoing there, are we?
I think it's okay now.
Yeah, it's Adam, unfortunately. But people have been saying, it's terrible. It's coming right through. It's worse to them than us.
That's unusual, Frank, because we were having difficulty with StreamYard, and the echoing was on our panel, but it didn't. The listeners didn't have any issue. They didn't have any echoing, so it's unusual.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I just had a few messages there that it's really bad. Come on, I'm going to bring him on to see if he's fixed it.
I don't know how to fix it. To be fair, it's all right. I'll just jump off this time until I've got it fixed. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's echoing.
When you're talking, it's all right, Adam. It's just when we start talking, it starts echoing.
Yeah. No, see, your sound is good. It's just it doesn't echo.
I don't know then. That's all right. Do it. I'll sort it out and I'll come back on another time. It's fine. Don't worry about it, guys.
Just let me phone Jay up. He might be able to sort it. Just hang on a sec, please, Adam. And you certainly are. There's something, look.
Oh, bless sideline. I hope you're cool, bro.
Okay. When Bob took over from Shanks, nobody thought he would be the better manager. Just saying. No, you're right there. You're right. But then again, he was a genius. He was a genius. You can't look at Bob Pitt. You can't even.
No.
Please, not Bob and Slot.
And you can't say that after six games.
No, and he inherited. He was with Shankly all the time. He knew everything under Shankly. He knew
Yeah.
everything.
So we could walk straight into that job, you know.
Yeah.
Slot came from Holland. Dutch sounds a little bit the same as German. That's the only closeness him and Klopp have got, you know. But for me, I think, you know, when you walk into any job, like when you know the job that was being done before was pretty good, it makes your job a little bit easier. And I think Slot sort of, trust me, it ain't like the Man United Chelsea situation. You know, you're walking into like a club that's like on its knees and you have to sort that mess out. He's come in where last season, January time, we were still going for a quad.
Yeah.
And that included so he's walked into a top squad. It's made his job much easier. And in a weird way, I'm so happy because who did we get rid of in the summer? Just bit part youth players, really.
Yeah.
We kept the core of the squad. We didn't get rid of no one. So for me, that was like a blessing in disguise for Slot.
Yeah, absolutely, JK. Midnight Toker saying, but fans say Klopp's the new Shanks, being me point. Yeah, but they said that after about 7 or 8 years at the helm.
Yeah.
After he won the Premier League, after he won the Champions League, after he reached how many finals, Europa League, Champions League final, you know, he won everything. So then, and only then, were we talking about him being Shanks reincarnate in a German body. Not after 5 or 6 games. So you know, I with the greatest of respect, Midnight Toker, I'm not taking a pop at you. I think we need to kind of cool the jets a bit and not be making comparisons. Give them at least a season and see what happens.
Is that gone now? Is it still there?
Yeah, I think it's okay now.
No,
cool.
It's still
Nah,
there.
it's still there a little bit.
So hold on a second. You press mute.
No,
What happens?
Jason's going to look at it. Don't worry. I've just phoned him. And,
We all sound like politicians doing a big speech somewhere, don't we?
look at that. I don't know whether you can see that, but I can. And it's got Adam Naylor authenticated with YouTube. And it says it's got like a little few things. Edit name, edit mic settings, kick from studio, ban from studio. And the last one, he's not a skier, he's telling lies. That's shocking, that. Whoever said that.
He's a professional yodeler.
Is it still echoing now? Yeah.
No,
I think it's a little bit better now.
no,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
it. He's done it.
Yeah, it sound now.
Testing.
Yeah, he's done it. Jason's done it.
Oh wow!
That's what producers are for. You see.
Well done,
Cool.
Jason.
Nice one.
Nice one,
now
Jay.
Jason needs to tell us the secret so that when we're doing our stream, we know how to do it.
I just added a echo cancellation on my mic thing, and it seems to have gone off now. If that's what's done it.
Yeah, you can do that in settings. Yeah,
I think that's what I've done. So yeah,
that's what I've done as well.
And as one of the lads said, just texted me there, he said, "It's fixed now, Frank." That's brilliant. And at the Anfield, good evening, Adam. Sounds like you're in a ski lift with the hat music, lad. The big build-up from Frankie and flops more than Everton on match day. Oh, that's. Anyway, let's see if there's a thing. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great.
Where did the music come from?
Yeah, I don't know. The Anfield says, hit the likes and sub, please. Much appreciated. Frankie is the godfather of the algorithm. No, the algorithm sound there. I'm trying to get it up there. And can't raise himself to love the godfather of the online please. Cheers, mate. Love that. Really love that. Thank you. And yeah, you have to go on about it. Whoever's echoing, mute yourself, then unmute when you're talking. That's right. Anyway, I don't know where we are here. Yeah, let's see this. Right, Midnight Talker, but fans say Klopp's the new Shanks being my point. Yeah, of course, I say that as well. The boot room learns off each other. That's fact, says James. Absolutely. And Souness got rid of it. If we lose Diaz, yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to go to you, JK, on this, and then to you, Adam, and to you, Sean. Finally, if we lose Diaz in the transfer window, I'll be devastated personally. He's better than Gakpo. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, like for me, it's mad that these two guys are our best attackers at the moment, Diaz and Gakpo, you know. And it's mad they're both playing on the left-hand side. So I'm starting both of them on the left-hand side on Saturday against Wolves. You know, like, I mean, play with two left wingers. Forget a striker. But for me, I don't think, like, for me, the only reason I would say Diaz would ever want to leave is because he's like taking 25 grand a week home, you know. For me, with the amount of energy he puts into a game, he should be getting more than that, you know. And like for me, this is the best I've seen of Diaz and Gakpo. It's probably in their careers. Like this is probably their best form. So I can't really see any manager wanting to get rid of these two guys come January or next summer, you know.
Okay. What about you, Sean?
I can't see Diaz leaving. I really can't. I mean, Diaz has really reinvented himself this season. There was question marks over him leaving during the summer. Thank Jesus that didn't happen. He's had a very, very good start to the season. Long may that continue. There's kind of a lot of his play this season is slightly reminiscent of Mane. So you know, I think he's played excellent. Really has.
Okay.
So I don't think we're going to get rid of him. Otherwise, I don't know what we're doing.
Okay. What about you, Adam?
Yeah, I don't think Diaz goes in January. I think he's playing for a new contract now. Would be stupid not to give him one as well. I think if Barcelona had money in the summer, he'd have gone, because I think all that stuff that's probably been coming out there, I think he's probably been pushing for that move, in all fairness. Or his family, especially with what happened with them last year and stuff like that. But yeah, I think he's probably going to get a new deal. As you say, he's probably on I think he's like the least paid attacker we've got, I think. But he's been playing like amazing. So yeah, but it's good as well to have both players down that side where they're competing with each other. I think if you take one of them out, the other one's still going to perform. And I think it's the first time in a long time that you can actually look at a few positions in the team and there seems to be a lot of depth there that when players are pushing each other. So yeah.
Okay. Is there anyone on there? Is there someone on here?
Yeah, that's Brian from the US.
That would be me. Hello, Frank.
How you doing, Brian?
Hey, how you doing?
Will that be yourself I'm talking to, Brian?
It would be myself. Says hi to me, and I'll leave it there.
Well, Brian, it's great to see you. Well, not to see you like you're there.
Well, yeah, I'll leave the video off, but thank you. Yeah, it's great to see you and the lads.
Okay. Listen, I just want to introduce you to Adam and to the wonderful Sean. They've got their own channels as well. And
Nice.
This is Brian Fennell. all the way from Seattle. He's tuning in
Oh, well.
from.
Oh, nice to meet you, mate.
He's a good friend of mine, actually, is Brian, and he's a big red, and he takes no nonsense, and he takes no nonsense either from FSG.
Love it.
FSG. So you know you've got a couple of fans here.
We're already best of friends, Brian.
Exactly. Yeah, we're family. Yes.
Well, listen, I've just been, Brian, I've just asked a question there. Well, a comment, you know, there's been a comment, and we've been talking about Diaz just at this moment in time. And it's about, you know, could he leave? Could he be asked to leave if, you know, the likes of Gapco, now Gapco is playing out of his skin. So is Diaz. Both of them are left wingers. And could one of them, you know, leave in January?
I hope not. And I'm going to do a complete 180 from this summer, where I said, you know, well, if Diaz needs to go get paid, go make a wage. Good luck, Godspeed. Thanks for the memories. But no, they're both playing great. I hope they don't move. I mean, I hope we keep both of them for depth purposes. But anyway, no. I think they both stay. Well, I hope they both stay.
Yeah, of course. You know, because it's to get rid of our best players now, and we've been talking about also about Virgil, Trent, and Mo, and the contract situation. That's what we've been talking about now. Are they going to go out on a free, which will be absolutely horrendous if they did. But I think that they're going to, no, I don't think, they'll get their contracts, because FSG will not allow them to leave, because they are the big bucks, as they say, in any transfers.
Now, does this have anything to do with some rumblings about the club is up for sale again, or is that more FSG ploys, or because that'll factor heavily into who gets a contract, who doesn't?
Well, one of the lads, Midnight Toker, he said that Arne Slot is better than Jurgen Klopp, right? So he said that, and what he says is, and I'm gonna go straight to Adam here, and then Sean, then JK, then you, Brian,
Okay.
And he says, Klopp won the Holy Grail and big he is in 9 years. Let's see what Arnie does. Adam. Now, don't forget what he says about Arnie being better than Klopp.
It's early days, man. Like, we're playing. Like, to be fair, I think Arne Slot answered it himself when he did his press conference the other day, because me and Sean covered it, and he said, "I've looked at the table now for the first time." He says every team we've played so far are in the bottom half of the table.
Yeah.
So like, let's wait and see what happens when we start playing some of the big boys. Like, I think me and Sean covered it yesterday or the day before, where we've got 3 games in a row where we play. I think it's Chelsea, Leipzig, then Arsenal, like within like 5 days of each other or something like that. Maybe it's a week. So let's see what happens then. Like, let's see when we start playing the Arsenals, the Man Cities, the Real Madrids this year, when we've got them in Champions League. Like, yeah, we got beat by Nottingham Forest. It came after an international break, but let's just, like, I don't know. It's too early. It's too early. I think he's going to do well. I like the style of play. I like the way things are. I liked it under Klopp, and but it's a nice change. So, yeah, it's early days for me.
So don't forget what one of the comments said is about, you know, Arnie's doing well, you know, which we all know he's doing well. There's no question about that. But what he does in the future, with Klopp not being there, targeting players, he'll be targeting the players himself. Now, I know for the fact that he was brought in simply because, I don't like saying this, but I have to. he gets players on the cheap.
Yeah, yeah.
He gets players. He bought 15 players for 30 million euro. 15. Now,
What?
but that was for Eredivisie.
Uh,
Totally different as the Premiership.
Yeah.
It's totally different here. You know, you've got to pay the big bucks for the best players, and that's the problem. Let's see what he brings in, and I'll say this again. I'll say this again. When we bought no one, there was murder, absolute murder by the fans, even on the chat or everything else, by saying, "Why haven't we bought anyone? Where's the money, John, and all this?" And I think he brought in Chiesa as an appeasement for the fans.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I
That's my
think as well that I think as well, one thing we've got to remember as well is when Klopp came into the club and the team were a shambles, let's just be honest, right? Hence why Rodgers got sacked. So Slot's coming in on better foundations. He's inherited a better club to start with, a team to start with than what Klopp did. So if Slot wins the Premier League next year, yeah, that's all well and good, and people might go, "Oh, he won it in 2 years," where it took Klopp ages. Yeah, but Klopp set the foundations for Slot to run off on, so bear that in mind as well.
Okay, what about you, Shano? What's your take on that?
On the comparison with Slot
Yeah,
being
and what the Midnight carries on by saying Klopp won the Holy Grail and big he is in 9 years. I've got a big answer for that, by the way. Let's
well.
see what Poole does.
I think
What he's saying basically, he's only won the league and
Yeah.
the European Cup within
Yeah.
9 years. It took him 9 years to achieve that. I've got the answer for that myself. So
I've got the answer for that myself too, Frank. I mean, if we had been better supported by the owners, had better investment in players rather than drag out, the whole process of getting a goalkeeper instead of having Karius, the model, hanging about and cheating football by being between the sticks, and being. He was a terrible keeper, God love him. But we could have sorted out that issue a long time, and we should sorted the issue with our defence a long time and our midfield a long time. So the fact is that we didn't, and it was dragged out over a couple of seasons, and that's why he only won one league title. The first league title in 30 years, which will always be close to our hearts, but he could have won more. And there will be rival fans that will, say, well, he didn't do enough, or you can't call him a legend, or you can't call him the best out there because he only won one league title. But the thing is, look at his net spend over the time that he was there, and look what the team that he inherited. I don't think with the restrictions and the resources that Klopp had, I don't think Pep could have done as good a job as Jurgen Klopp. With regards to the comparisons with Slot and Paisley, the guy is 6 games into the season and a pre-season. He's inherited Jurgen Klopp's team. We've bought one player. We've got another player coming in, Mohamed Ashvili. So we don't know what's going to happen. We certainly don't know what's going to happen if we start picking up injuries and whatnot. We don't know what's going to happen if Virgil, Salah, and Trent go. So there's an awful lot to happen now and between whatever length of time Slot has to make comparisons. And I don't want to get ahead of ourselves and start.
Well, we're in a conundrum, aren't we, really? And it's about incomings and outgoings, if you like. And that's the point. That's the old point of Liverpool Football Club as we know today. We've started off brilliantly, one defeat. The defence seems to have tightened up. But as Slot said himself, the people that we've beaten, or the teams that we've beaten in the lower half of so I'll go to you, JK, then finally to you, Brian, about what our Midnighters said.
Like for me, I'm not going to go. I don't like making comparisons with players, managers that are working for the same club. Unnecessary rift. Like people saying like he's better than Klopp, or vice versa. Like we don't really need to hear that. Like for me, Klopp came in and sorted our mess out. He's put us back on like the top tier of football, where people like McAllister, for example, Argentinian World Cup winner, came to Liverpool. I can't see any other manager who could have done his job on that sort of budget over the years. And what did he do? He won one Premier League and one Champions League, where he realistically could have won another 2-3 of each cups. But I'm not going to compare Slot and him together. I just feel that Slot's just like a lucky man that he's got the Liverpool job. And on top of that, he's got a top squad to choose from and to work with straight away. Professionals. None of this like money-hungry type of football players, shicky-micky type of guys, proper professional type of guys. And like for me, Slot is like thinking, God, he must have won the lottery about 20 times, So for me, what he's done so far, fair play to him, And me and you said nearly like the day when Slot was saying he's going to get the job. We'll support him, but he's not at the moment. He's going to take time for us to say, yeah, he's going to be great. I don't like hyping up situations and players and managers. For me, I let them just get on with it, That's why I never moaned about Gravenberch and Gapco, for example, back in the days when they weren't really playing well. I said, listen, let it all come, one day. That's what we wish for anyway. And look, say 7-8 months later, now Gapco and Gravenberch, probably two of our best players. And that's football.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you? What about you on that, Brian? Them comments there before about Slot. Slot's better than Arnie. Better than Jürgen. And he carries on by saying Klopp. He won the Holy Grail and the big ears in 9 years. What have you got to say about that? It's taken 9 years for them to win that.
Do I have sound? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Brian.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
So I did, wasn't sure. Sorry about that. Yeah, agree with the consensus that, Klopp, Slot's inherited a lot better than Brendan Rodgers. And going back to the Holy Grail and big years in 9 years, if we don't look back at that, let's go back to 2018. Again, you had Lovren, Gomez, and I'm drawing blank on the other center back. Matip. And Lovren was injured from the World Cup. You had Gomez, who's a China doll. Matip, China doll. What do? You don't buy a center back. You don't bring one in. Collapse, falter, or defensive falter in January, February, and we lose the league by 2 points. Okay, that's one. A little more investment, like exactly what Sean said. A little more investment from the club, and Klopp would have won back-to-back in 2018, 2019. We'd have 2 Premier titles at least. And in fact, on the net spend, that we got to 3 Champions League finals. That early days for Arne Slot. I love what he's doing now with defense. I love what some of the changes he's implementing. But no, apples, oranges, all fruit. But no, you can't compare Arne to Klopp right now. Give him a chance.
Yeah, that's it. Honest lads, they were great comments you gave. A lot of you, great comments. And I totally agree, more investment, because I've said on this channel all the time, we never signed any midfielders in 4 years. The last one was Thiago. Then, for 4 years on, then we signed a midfielder. And that's disgusting. And JK, I tell you, you know as well, Brian, you've been on with me on football shows and that. I've always been screaming out for midfielders for about 2 or 3 years now. And there wasn't any investment at all. And in my opinion, I'm just saying this, I totally agree with you, if he would have had the investment that should have been there for him, we would have won at least another two Champions Leagues and another two Premierships. I'm quite certain of that, without a shadow of a doubt. So really, Midnight, you can't say Klopp won the Holy Grail and Big Eaters in 9 years. What you're saying is, in fact, you're taking the piss, really, on Klopp. That's what that reads. That's what that reads to me. He only won it in 9 years. That's what a Manchester United fan would say. That's what
comments.
an Everton fan would say.
Yeah, there's some comments there that Midnight Talker saying that I'm a bit, everyone is entitled to their opinion, but I'm a bit baffled by some of the comments. At the end of the day, I don't think any manager after winning the league would not want investment to then challenge and hold on to the title the following year. The following year, we didn't invest, and Liverpool Football Club ended up having to play centre midfielders in defence because of our injury issues. There's no way that Klopp could have foreseen that. There's no way that Klopp would want that. But Klopp worked with that and did his very best. And I think he bought FSG an awful lot of time.
Well, we know a few players. Sorry, mate. Sorry, go on.
No, go on, Adam. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, we know of a few players that Klopp wanted that he didn't get. Like, he wanted Timo Werner. Like, yes, he turned out to be not so good at Chelsea and stuff like that, but maybe in a different team, he may have been better. He wanted him, couldn't have him, had to phone him personally and say, I can't make it done because basically Leipzig wanted the release clause in one. And then Liverpool ended up signing Jota instead over installments, which obviously Jota is probably one of the best finishers at the club. So maybe that's, in hindsight, maybe that was a better signing. Wanted Daniel Malvin before he went to Dortmund, but got told he had to sell Shaqiri and Origi before he could have him. So then he ended up going to Dortmund. And then there's the Jude Bellingham thing that happened, and I'll die on this hill that Bellingham would have picked us over Madrid. 100% FSG pulled the plug on that. Because we were told by the media that Liverpool didn't do the Bellingham because they wanted to spread the money over more players, which they did. They did do that. But then they went and put even more money in for a bid for Caicedo when they probably knew that Klopp was spitting his dummy out. Nah, don't believe it for a second. Don't believe it for a second.
Yeah, no chance. No chance because Brian knows this better than I. They're masters at spin.
Yeah.
Especially Edwards. Masters.
They should be DJs. They should be DJs or ice skaters.
It's just. Well, James says Diaz's parents will convince him, guarantee he dies. I don't know,
I think his dad's behind a lot of that noise we've been hearing.
Yeah.
His dad's 100% behind a lot of that noise.
Yep. Because at the end of the day, he's like taking 25 grand a week home. Like when you see the guy play football, you're thinking 250 minimum, easy. And when you realise he's taking 25 grand a week home, Gravenberch is on 140. Fair play to Gravenberch, he's doing well this season, but I'm just saying, like, the price gap between them two players is a bit too much for me. Like, Diaz could have been sorted out, like, 100 grand minimum at least, Like, Chelsea's wages, United's wages, ridiculous. Our wages really low when you really look at it. But it's mad how the players have all sort of stayed at the club, really. I think Diaz is his father, probably thinking this is his son's prime years, age-wise. I need him to move again to get a better wage,
He's 27 now, isn't he, Diaz, is he not?
Yeah,
27. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go get yours. 25 grand, that's all he's making? I thought he was at least 50 or 60, but 25?
I think he takes about 25 after tax home.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, that's criminal still.
It's criminal for the talent he's got. And Anfield Law says, "Hello, Brian. Good to hear you, lad."
Cheers.
On the sideline, get onto this one. Frank, yesterday the wife was listening and she said, you're a storyteller and have a radio voice. Thanks, Sideline's wife. Thank you. That's nice. And
That's what
James
said.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I'm going straight to Brian. Frank, we'll always be a sell-to-buy club under FSG. They're only interested in baseball, aka rounders. And before I go over there, Brian hasn't heard the news here. I said at the very beginning of the show, Brian, I've heard that it could be tomorrow, it could be next week, it could be within 2 years. As I said, it could be tomorrow. That FSG will be selling to the Saudi syndicate. What do you think of that?
Great.
Great.
I mean, do they have an interest in football? Do you have an interest in winning?
Well, they are,
going after trophies? No, we're all glory hunters. Anyway, are they interested in trophies, or rather than also rans or so close yet so far stories? No, I mean, if they're here, they're coming, they're buying with intent. Yeah, great.
Well, that's it.
Hit the road, Jack. Hit the road, FSG. See ya.
Well, listen, carry on with this. The comments. Frank will always be a sell-to-buy club under FSG. They're only interested in baseball. What do you think? Well, what do you think of that comment from James?
He's right.
I think the Red Sox fans would have something to say about that.
Agree.
Because they're not popular over there either.
Exactly. There's I read a tweet about 6 months ago. They wanted to buy something. I don't know what it was exactly. I think a basketball team, maybe Boston Celtics. The amount of hysteria, like the tweets people writing, I'm thinking, oh my god, these guys own our club. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, damn. You know, like for me, like in life, they should make their money. Don't take me that's what they're in it for. You know, they're in there to make money. Make your money. But the thing is, you want the whole base to be all getting along with each other, fans and the owners, them two, you know. And I feel sometimes they don't really make that effort to keep the fans happy, you know. And you only do that by buying players. Like, we know that, we love football, so when an owner buys players, we know that they're in it to win it, you know. That's what it is.
They couldn't give a shit, guys. I mean, they're portfolio collectors. I mean, if you remember, guys, when David Ornstein had put out that the club were for sale, it was, I think, in January that John W. Henry, or maybe February or March, that John W. Henry was at a press conference, and he's an absolute nightmare with dealing with the press, and that's why you don't see much of him. He kind of puts his foot in it quite a lot. But he was booed at a press conference. They were asking, you know, how do you keep the success at the club, or they were asking about the Boston Red Sox, and his answer was, well, you know, an awful lot of it is down to ticket prices, and he was booed out of it. And one of the fans that was actually recording the actual incident said, "You got to give us something worth paying our tickets for." And that's the thing, they don't give a shit. I mean, if you look at the net spend under Klopp over 9 years, it was about 300 million. So, you know.
Yeah. Like, when you look at Pep, he spent like 280 million on his defence. That's over £250 million there. You know, when you look at what Klopp spent, he bought. We always make a joke about Andy Robertson from the pub for a bluey, for a fiver. He got Andy Robertson for a fiver.
You know, and there's him buying like £50 million defenders, Ake, this, that, and the other. And that's why I think a lot of fans don't really realise what Klopp actually did. He was up against a guy who, for me, Pep Guardiola, top manager, good coach. He knows what he's doing. But on top of that, he's always getting a big budget to spend. Hence why he's that good, you know. I always say I'd love to see him go and manage Luton Town or somewhere, you know.
Right.
You know,
Well,
let's see what he does there. I'd love to see that, you know. He'd probably bring them up and get them like high up and stuff, but they're not going to be winning Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues all the time. No way.
No chance.
Which
and
is
that's
all
a good
more
point.
reason why
On
you
that
can't.
point,
Sorry.
on that point, what you just said there, he's only won one Champions League.
Exactly.
And it's taken him all this time. And he has all the money in the world, and cheating, by the way, to spend. Think about that at midnight. Think about that, lad.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, anyway, I'm just going to go through a few things here. From what I see, Gapco says Norman, if he can get his head up earlier and pick a pass or shot at the right time, he will become a real top Liverpool player. I think he's a top Liverpool player now. The Anfield Sideline Football Show. Frank, he's talking to Sideline. Frank is a notorious broadcaster in the history field. The man has numerous talents, and like a lot of found he has a silver tongue, smooth up and behave yourself.
Smooth up for Sade now. Sade.
That's why I'm on my own. And,
Go on, sweet as taboo. Come on, let's hear it.
And Norman's saying to the road there, I've heard rumours that Tez Lynham is going around telling he is Frank Carlyle. Tez Lynham and everything will get called here. But anyway, gonna get some decent comments. Spot on about Gapco, runs with his head down a lot. If he plays heads up football, he'd be unstoppable. Brian, what do you think of that comment about Gapco if he held his head up? A bit more often.
That's his style. I think he's a phenomenal signing for us. Took a while. I mean, again, took me a year to adjust, which isn't expected. But I think it's been phenomenal. But to jump back to Gakpo versus Diaz, change of pace. Gakpo, you could probably clock with a sundial. I mean, he's not fleet of foot. I'll put it that way. But but they complement each other and they give us different looks on the wing. But I guess the short version is I agree. Next one.
Well, okay. What do you think about that, Adam? If he puts his head up, because that's been a couple of comments.
Yeah, I think we were talking about on our watch along the other day. Actually, like I said to Sean, I think if you look at Gakpo now, don't you think he's lost a bit of weight? Like he looks like he's leaned down a little bit, and he looks like he's just got like a load of pace behind him all of a sudden. Like he didn't look like this last year. He looked a bit slower. But yeah, I get what people are saying. He has his head down, because he's always like that. But he does have them moments though, like yesterday when he had Kudus behind him and he spun him, turned around and scored that goal. He has moments like that. So he's still probably a young player. To be fair, he probably haven't got into his prime yet. So let's just. I think what's he like 24, maybe even a bit younger than that.
Yeah.
So
he's just easing in. Like this season, he's actually easing in, isn't he? If you know what I mean. I know that sounds it, but he's a Netherlands international as well, and he scores for them. So he's got bags of talent, along with what Diaz has as well. Diaz is a totally different player than Gakpo. If there's any comparisons. But we must keep the two of them. And what's your take on that, Sean? About that comment about, holding his head up and he'd be an unstoppable player.
It's very hard to say. I mean, I just thought he played very, very well. And there yesterday, I thought he took his goals very well. I think the goals were a lot harder than Jota's. So I don't know. I mean, I think he's doing well, and I think all he can do is continue to improve his game. And if that means putting his head up more or whatever, then so be it. And I'm sure Slot will work on that with them, as Slot has done with Trent. And Trent has said that about Slot, that he's very vocal about what he needs to do to improve his game. I mean, we're talking about Trent improving his game. I mean, can you imagine him improving his game anymore? But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Gapka. I really am. I think he's a great player.
Yeah. What about you, Jay?
Like, for me, since the Euros, that guy's on his best form in his whole career. That's what it is right now. And like for me, yesterday he got 2 goals. Why? Because he was hungry. The guy's got this like burning energy in him. You see it in some players, and you can see it this season. He means the business. I think what he was on about, like getting his head up high in the 70th minute. If you guys watch the game again or watch highlights of it, in the 70th minute, he had a chance to square it to Darwin, for Darwin to get a tap in. And I think 12th man was on about it yesterday. He was like, "Bro, you got to see it." In the 70th minute, all Gapco had to do was pass it square. Darwin would have got on the goal sheet. So, but for me, I'm really happy in the way he's got that desire. And for me, that's perfect for us.
Chiesa's got that desire as well. Sorry.
No, I asked you, didn't I, Sean, about keeping his head up? Did I ask you?
You did, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll just go on to this. It's only an answer that James has given. I think it's to the midnight. It's way too early, but one good thing, Slot won his debut Premiership. Klopp never did in 9 years, so let's keep grounded and see what happens.
Yeah.
It's what he's done. It's what Klopp's done. 3 big year finals, 2 runners-up, Prem losers, 1 point, lost by 1 point on 3 against the best team, City, with their financial clout. He's a genius. And that's what you've got to look at, midnight. Honestly.
Absolutely.
That's what you've got to look at. That's what you've got to look at, mate. No one's having a go, by the way. Klopp wouldn't move sick notes off the bench at 1 point. He had that much say. It set us back instead of moving us forward. His love is for his players. What do you think of that comment by the midnight?
Like for me, if you
go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I was going to just say quickly that if you offered Klopp every season 2 brand new players, he would have took them if they cost 50, 60 million each, whatever it was, to make his squad better. I think sometimes it used to boggle my mind thinking, why would Klopp not say yes to a player that's going to make his team and squad better for him to be more successful, He's going to make his job a bit more harder, because you've seen in the last 2 years, there's a few Liverpool fans out there who weren't happy with Klopp and probably wanted to move him on, And I think Klopp sort of felt that pressure. That year where we didn't reach the Champions League, we finished 5th the season before he left. You've seen it in his aura that sort of stressed him out. And I'm thinking, why didn't he buy more players then? So for me, it was always about the owners. They weren't giving him the necessary tools for him to do his job.
I think that comment is great, but Midnight Soaker answers his own queries, shall we say, by Klopp wouldn't move the sick notes off the bench. He had no one else. He couldn't bring anybody in. That's why he had to hold on to his experienced players.
Mm-hmm.
And they ran out of steam.
Yeah, but he could have moved them on if he got them 2 signings a season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was on about. Investment. That was the lack of investment. That's why
Yeah, that's what I was on
he
about.
couldn't do anything. Go ahead.
No, but I think he had the. I think if he was a bit more vocal, he made a bigger issue of it, he would have gotten what he wanted. So yeah, we're eager. Yeah, we're quick to point the finger at the club's operations or inability to replace players. But was the point made earlier? If Klopp was offered 2 players a season at what 50 million, he'd do it.
Yeah. Simple as.
Absolutely.
See, he was vocal because that's why he was humiliated over Jude Bellingham. His family were here. And, they were getting shown around everywhere. They were getting shown where he was going to stay until he got his own place. And when he turned around and said, no, you're not having him. But that went... Do you ever remember me telling you, Brian, and I'm going back a few years now, and I said, we're buying a lad, I couldn't even pronounce his name, and it was Shumani. Do you ever remember that?
Yes, I remember that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you said it's Shumani. I said, that's him, that's the lad. I said, we're buying him, you's made up. You said, wow, yeah. I said, yeah. That was another thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the spin started that he wanted to go to Real Madrid.
Yep.
So he was getting refused all the time. All the time. And remember when he turned around on the penultimate day of the window shutting a couple of years ago, when he turned around to the journalist and said, you were right, I was wrong. And it was about midfielders.
Yes.
He couldn't get anyone unless they were loanee. Look what he brought in that time when we were suffering with terrible injuries at the back.
Right.
And he brought in Kabak.
Yeah.
Come on, so midnight, he wasn't getting the funds, lad. He wasn't getting the funds. What was you going to say, Brian?
I was just going to say that the episode with, Germany, first one's free. When they backed away after 3 years or 2 years of talking about Bellingham, and all of a sudden, right when the window opens, we're out of the Bellingham sweepstakes. He had enough goodwill. He had enough. Had he gone to the ownership and say, no, bullshit, you bring him in here or I walk, he would have the backing of every supporter in the league or every fan in our fan base saying, yes, okay, hey, go get him. And he would have gotten them. So
that's why we went for Caicedo, I think, Brian. I think towards the end of that transfer window, they knew that Klopp was on his way. I think they knew.
Yeah,
that's
because
why
it was all planned. It was pre-planned.
I mean, you don't show up in 3 Champions League finals in what I'll just say it's a shorter window, 5 years, and we can runners up twice in the league in the same 5 years, and no one wants to come play for you. Play for
exactly.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard about the Tuchemani thing that he was at AXA at one point when they were talking to him or something. Like him or his agent was at the training facility. Like that's how close it came.
Yeah.
That's why
they go to Real Madrid. Oh well, we tried. That's the most half-assed. Really, you can say that about after in the same line of same breath as we can compete with anyone in the league. Oh, he wants to go to Real Madrid. Fairly well. Well, who's it born with? I mean, really? That comes from the top. That comes from don't get me started on that. Gotta keep my blood pressure down.
What about you, Sean? Or what about you? And all this carry on here. About everything.
I'm baffled by Toker. Completely baffled by him. I think it's very disrespectful to say that, if he didn't stick with Signals that we would have dominated the league. I think that's so disrespectful of a man that brought so much to that club with so little resources and resources and funds and investment, proper investment. We're talking 300 million of a net spend on players, and Pep spent 200 million one summer on defenders alone, and you're telling me that your comments are just making my blood boil, to be honest with you. I absolutely making my blood boil. I think if you're a Liverpool fan, you have got to respect Jurgen Klopp for what he's done. Absolutely. And if anything, he brought out the best in Oxlade-Chamberlain. He brought out the best in Naby Keita. He brought out the best
No, I'm
on
not sure about that one.
mediocre players, and players that were injured, players that had injuries. Milner is an absolute legend as a result of Jurgen Klopp.
Right.
Bobby Firmino was going to leave, and Klopp took him on and did. He's an absolute legend. So I can't actually see straight with how.
Well, look at that comment there. When we won the league, we didn't buy anyone. What great manager does that?
Wasn't the manager?
FSG. It was Klopp loyalty to wage thieves, refusing to move Deadwood on.
Midnight, do your homework, buddy, because I did my homework. I studied up on FSG for years. You may have heard of Fenway We Come Not to Pay.
I remember that, yeah.
Thank you, Brian. I was Fenway We Come Not to Pay, and I got absolutely slated online, and I called these guys out from pretty much day one. And we had court documents showing how they spoke about Liverpool Football Club. We had proof of how they went about football. Klopp did not have a say. He wanted players. He couldn't get them. What are you to do? He didn't say, FSG, it's okay. I don't need any players. When players were leaving the club and he needed to replace them, he was calling out for players. So when you have journalists that actually are asking questions, when are we going to sign a player? When are we going to sign a player? When are we going to sign a player? The book ends with him because he has to answer these questions. And it's frustrating on him. And no wonder his health deteriorated. I'm convinced it was deteriorating because of these questions. It was FSG that had put the restrictions and limitations on Klopp. It wasn't Klopp that was taking money out of his pocket and saying, here, we'll go for this player. So for a comment like that from a Liverpool fan about Jurgen Klopp, never did I think in my lifetime I would see us winning the Premier League, not alone another Champions League.
Well, he's the only one. He's the only one out of, a lot of people who I know.
Yeah.
To say a thing like that, which is, and it's fair dues. Everyone's got their own opinions. But
but what you're saying is some of it is actually fact. Like what you're saying, like too many players stayed a bit too long. The Naby Keita deal for me cost us 100 million. His fee 60 million, something like that. Wages 30 odd million. So for me, he made one or two mistakes in his transfer signings. But for me, I'm not gonna diss Klopp to make Slot look better, and vice versa. I think at the end of the day, without Klopp doing what he did in 9 years, we wouldn't have a team that's talking like big now. We always talk big, but we keep it humble. But I think the club wouldn't be where it is now. Financially off the pitch, they're making loads of money with adverts and sponsors, big money. Klopp did that, and people forget that they were bought for 300 million. Liverpool. Klopp, within his reign, made that worth 4 to 5 billion now. So we didn't have to say nothing else about that topic.
Well, I think there's a very good answer from Norman there. Midnight Soaker. We bought Thiago and Jota after winning the league. It was in the winter when we needed a centre half for that season. We did not invest. Fabinho, Enzo, and we're at when they became centre backs, Henderson and Fabinho. But they forget also about bringing in Nat Phillips and a loanee, Kabak. And that was bad. That was awful. There was no investment whatsoever. And this is what I was screaming out for midfielders, even when Henderson was there. And a friend of mine, a good friend of big red. He went like that. Only last night, he was talking to me. Why did you do that when someone's on the phone? Anyway, and he's just said to me, do you know what? He said, Steven Gerrard, one of the greatest of all captains of Liverpool Football Club and player of all time. He said, great. He said, on Henderson, he said, would you put him in comparison with and yet he's won all the medals. And that's true. So it's not about making their players great. I think Henderson was the Ringo Starr of football. That's my honest opinion. That's my
Henderson was going to leave. Henderson was going to leave.
Yeah,
And
Klopp, to Swansea, or Fulham or something.
Yeah, Klopp took him under his wing, and look what he made out of him. Trent,
Absolutely.
look at Trent, Robertson.
Yes.
All these players under Klopp became mediocre players, from mediocre players to champions.
Yeah.
To champions.
Yeah. Like you said, Bobby Firmino, when he was playing under Rodgers, he was being played out of position and he was on close to leaving. Who would have thought when we signed Gini Wijnaldum that he'd become one of the best box-to-box midfielders?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And he never replaced him.
Yeah, exactly.
He wasn't replaced.
Nope. And he left on a free transfer.
You know what I mean? Robbo too on the left, at the left back. I mean, he came from Hull. Good God! I mean, that was a shooting gallery back there. And for what? Was it? Shaving a haircut, and for a song and a dance, and what? He gave you 24, 25 assists. For 2 or 3 seasons. So yeah, I mean, just to go back real quick and jump back to midnight. We're not singling you out, but if you came to us and said, okay, if Klopp wasn't a better advocate for himself than the club, okay, you might have a discussion. If Klopp, you want to say Klopp lacked a killer instinct, the ability to put an opponent away when he needed to, okay, you might have a discussion there. But this, I think that's a bit of a reach. And one last thing, Sean, I remember your work, first rate. I know you were slated, you were dragged online for then we became up to pay. But I loved your work, and you're the first person to get the fire sale of San Diego Padres. You got that one. You nailed that one early days as one as an owner. So kudos to you if you haven't heard it before.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Great.
I appreciate that a great deal because it got really, really bad for me doing that. I mean, Martin Mason was part of that. We had other guys. In fact, I think Chris Dix was also part of Fenway Become Not to Pay, from what I can gather. I think his name. Yeah,
he's well into that.
I think his name is Chris Smith, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And I know all about Chris. We may not have parted on good terms. He's got, a lot of passion, let's say, but I think there's no point in attacking fellow fans.
Sure. That's what he does, unfortunately. He's attacked me loads of times.
Yeah,
he's attacked the show by saying, you talk. We're not like saying FSG out. No one's ever said that on my pod. Nobody. But we can criticise. And if they left tomorrow, I'd do cartwheels.
Right.
Backward flips. That's what I'd do.
The one thing I'll say, Frank, and I'm not going to put a dampener on the show. Chris, I've seen some of your websites, which has actually my email address.
It's got mine as well. It's got my show. And Jay as well, JK.
Which I have never, ever given you permission to post that up. So I want that taken down, please. Yeah.
That's if he's listening in. But anyway, well, James MK says, as King Kenny said, you judge your manager at the end of the season. I said at Christmas, I'll give my opinion on Arnie Slot at Christmas to see where we are. Anyway, Arnie has done great up to now, but Klopp did amazing. 8 finals in 9 years, 7 trophies. We will see. I hope it's a good journey with Arnie. That's a cracking comment. That's that that just sums up everything, everything. And IBR says, I hope Slaughter's at Liverpool for the next 10 years and wins a couple of titles, but he has to be backed and given the tools to challenge. What he has to do as well is get the players. And it's no use, I don't like saying this, but I have to. It's no use buying the Chiesas for 10 million. You've got to spend more in today's market for great players. We have. That's why the likes of Mendy, who's a fantastic player. I wanted that Calafiori because I follow Serie A. I wanted Calafiori. He was great against Liverpool in 2 games last season. Remember? Anyway, he was great in that. And I wanted him. But if not, I said, there's another fella there who plays for Atalanta, and that's Edison. He's good, him. We could do with him if we don't go for Calafiori. Who went in for Calafiori? Arsenal. And that sickened me. That really sickened me. And great memory that. Oh, hang on. That's is the midnight again. Shelter buyers happen since transfers began. Sometimes you buy them.
I don't really feel like replying to that, to be honest with you. And I mean, you know, again, other people can come on here and say, well, rather than moaning, why don't you go out and do something? Well, why don't you do something? Do you know what I mean? Because in all honesty, Fenway we come out to pay tried a protest, and Martin was the only person that turned up for it. I was on holiday, and a Liverpool supporters group, an official one, had reported the Merseyside police on Martin a week before he got married. Yep, a week before he got married. He had Merseyside police, and I was in Galway, and I had to contact the Merseyside police. So, you know, I know where Chris is living out in the back there. So I don't know where exactly he is. Montenegro. Yep. Like, come on, Chris. With the greatest of respect, I know you're passionate and whatnot, but let's not go down that route again. Let's not dig up old wounds there, because he clearly doesn't like me, and that's cool. That's fine.
But anyway, stop. You know, just let's carry on, because midnight again. I'm sure he's a Man United fan. You know, I'm convinced. Whose idea was to bring Carrius to Liverpool? Klopp. No, it wasn't.
It was mine. It was mine.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, what happened to Carrius was he was in a relationship with a girl who's sort of like a TV sort of presenter in Germany and stuff, and she's a bit wild and stuff like that. And at that time, she messed his head up, you know, because like she's a bit of a nutter. She is actually, you know. And what happened? Like what happens in football is people forget that players have a life after the game. You know what I mean? So whatever happened off the field made him like let them 2 goals in against Real Madrid in that final, you know, because he weren't concentrating on his football. And that's what happens, you know. Karius was actually a good goalie, you know.
He was.
But for me, concentration. It's all about concentration. If you can't concentrate on the game, you've got to sort out what's happening off the field so you can concentrate on the game. Karius hasn't really had a football career, really. He was on Newcastle subs bench only last season. So whatever he did weren't the right choices, you know. So for me, it's got nothing to do with Klopp. Klopp gave him an opportunity because he's a German lad to have a career at Liverpool, you know. So it's up to him to do that. After that,
Well, he was also he was being billed as the next successor
Oh,
to
yeah.
what Ter Stegen, and I mean, let's face it, Germany at the time had 5 world-class goalkeepers, and they were
Yeah.
saying this guy was the next one upcoming. So sure, he's around for 10 million. Sure, take a flyer on him. But
Yeah.
and in his defense, he got there. He got us there. I don't think Mignolet would have gotten us to the final. So I'll give him that. And one last thing, he did take a forearm to the head from Ramos in the game. That was
Yeah.
not
Right.
called. So after you let the first one in. So I mean, whatever. It's good experience. I mean, he didn't work out. Oh well. I mean, turn the page. Just my 2
Well,
cents.
anyway, here Max says, all right, lads, Mad's all this talk comparing Klopp with on. Arnie has won nothing and is just starting his journey with us. He seems a good guy, but Jürgen won it all for us and is a Liverpool legend. And that's a cracking comment. And Norman says, Souness, Evans, Earlier, Benitez, Hodgson, Irishman. That's the other fella. Could not win us this league. Mr. Klopp did. And as you said, Sean, you know, with 30 bloody years. And, you know, I get called bollocks, Frank, you know. Jesus. Oh, yeah, okay, midnight. Midnight, okay.
That's disappointing because Frank, of speaking to you, I don't think you've ever raised your voice or anything like that and get disrespected like that. I think that's
let's just. I think he's. Yeah, look, he's going on. Look, I'm not going to read out anymore. Not going to read out anymore. Of the midnight. I'm afraid. The Anfield Roar, midnight talker, Klopp's loyalty guy. How do we know what the funds were to replace the players you didn't like? If anything, then Jürgen did even better then with the player that was their sick note there, and he did. A cracking comment. Anyway, I'm not reading out any of there. Go on other shows, midnight night. Just go on other shows. Let them read them. Spot on, Sean, Doc. The man worked miracles with his hands tied behind his back. FSG showed this summer they are not interested in spending anything without seeing someone come in. How is that equal to City?
You know what? Like 2 chapters in the last 10 years of Liverpool. 1, we won the Champions League. Who did we buy? Sepp van der Berg, Adrian. Okay. We've got a new manager coming in now, Arne Slot. You know, what do? We got rid of like Clark, Rakitic, the lad to Carvalho to Brentford. Who did we get in? We got Chiesa in for 10 million, and the goalkeeper is not even going to be here. So for me, that shows you 2 important times of a Liverpool Football Club. They didn't pull out the money.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Agreed.
Right. Midnight Soaker, look at the kids he played for nearly a quarter of the season. I think you're talking a bit mad, mate. Simple as that. And soon as Gerrard will play any pool team, that's good enough for me, says James. And he said it, he did. Any sort, yeah, look at the Midnight Soaker. Oh yeah, look, the made up one. Adios, Chris. Ta-ra, mate. Fucking hell, I get them on here, don't I?
Fair play, Anne. Fair play.
Fenway we come not to pay massive respect. Sean, times have changed, believe me. And now you would be backed. You never walk alone, says Douglas.
A lot of people agree with what everyone else agrees with, you know. I think sometimes fans need to just like settle down a bit and like let's talk about the facts. Facts are none of us really like the owners. None of us really want them as our owners, and that's it. You know, it doesn't matter what opinions you have as the managers of this, that, and the other. But the bigger picture being, our owners are making a lot of money out of our club, but we're not really getting backed on the pitch. We want to see top players. We want to win trophies. That's what football's all about, nah? So there you go.
I think, you know, sorry, Frank.
No, I was just going to say, Daryl Merry says, midnight, he forgot the strikers Jürgen came into. Barini, Balotelli, Lambert. Jesus.
Yeah.
And the midnight says, Frank, I can't believe this comment either. Frank, the fact you take ages to read comments means some be taken out of context of what you might have just said. I don't think so.
I think he's on about, you know, when the time where you was on about Klopp not getting into, when I said Klopp didn't bring in 2 new players every season, whatever, and then you were like, yeah, he weren't going to be back financially to bring them new 2 players in, and we couldn't offload the older players, you know, the ones we should have got rid of. So then I think he was commenting about that. So for me, Klopp didn't get rid of them players because he knew that he weren't going to get 2 new guys in. Hence why he kept them on longer. That's what I think, anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it's very difficult to read through all the comments, and I think Frank has done a fantastic job of reading through all of them. I think what he's done is he's just read them. How you can take them out of context, I don't know. I think they're fairly self-explanatory, and we've read into them exactly how you meant, and that's it. So, yeah.
It's just nuts, isn't it? It's just nuts. But anyway, lads, what I want to say is, who would you play? Would you play? Now I've got to say this, and I'm going to go straight to Brian all the way over there in Seattle. You know what I mean? I'm going to go straight to him. Would you play on Saturday against Wolves away at Molineux, Diaz or Gakpo on the left?
Good question. I'd go with Diaz.
Okay. I'm going to JK.
I'm playing both of them.
Oh, yeah. Go on. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Double trouble.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
I take both of them, man. Like, if I could fit them 2 guys in that front 3, like with Salah has to be the other guy, you know? I'd do that. Why not? They're on fire, man.
Okay. Okay. Right to you, Sean. Gakpo or Diaz?
Diaz.
Okay.
Love Gakpo, but Diaz.
I think it's going to be Diaz because he seems to be rotating them. And probably for the time being, I probably would stick with Diaz as well. I think Diaz has got it's Diaz's shirt to lose at the moment. As much as Gakpo's improving and doing well, it's just Diaz is doing well in the Premier League, isn't it? So,
yep.
Okay, that's a cracker. That's a cracker. I've asked you to have a nice shot there, Sean. Right, okay. Here's my other one.
Hello?
Jota. Oh, did I ask you, Brian? Did I ask you? I did ask you, didn't I, Brian?
Yeah, you asked me, yeah. I said Diaz.
Okay. All right, here's my other one. Let's see you stare at him, because you're sitting there like a great downhill skier, you know. So, right, here's one for you. Right. Jota or Darwin?
I'm going Darwin. I think he needs a run of games. I think if you keep taking him out, he's going to lose that rhythm. He's a rhythm player. He's not a player that you can just chuck in and he does something. He needs to be constantly playing. So I think, I'd stick with Darwin because you know if push comes to shove, you can take Jota on and Jota will score. So
True.
I'd stick with Darwin.
True.
Right, okay. What about you, Sean?
What was the question, Frank? Because I kind of got cut off there. I was going skiing.
No, it's okay. I was just saying, what was the record downhill ski by Adam that he did, to acquire that gold medal?
Oh, I don't know. He let's just say everyone was on the seat of their pants.
Okay. Would you rather have Jota or Nunes? Who's playing?
Top.
I think Jota.
Jota, okay.
You there? Jota.
Yeah.
What about you, Jay?
As much as I want Darwin to play, 1 goal, 1 assist in 2 games, I think it's going to be Jota.
Okay, that's fair enough. Have I asked you, Brian?
No, but I'd go with Nunez. I like Jota coming off the bench.
Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one. Now then, do we know if Kelleher or Ali is Ali fit or is he still injured?
I think it's a question mark over that, and if there's a question mark over it, you've got no reason to drop Kelleher. I think
absolutely.
I think Kelleher would start for any team in the Premier League, obviously apart from Liverpool. I think unless Alisson is 100% back, it's Kelleher's.
Okay, I'll stay with you, Adam. Who's your 3 midfielders? If there's going to be 3, could be 4, you don't know. Who's your 3?
I think you go back to tried and trusted that's done so well in the season so far. I go back to Ryan, Maka and Dom.
Oh, okay. So you're going along with McAllister, Szoboszlai and Gravenberch.
Yeah.
What about you, Sean? What's your midfield?
I'd be the same. I'd be the same as Adam. Adam and myself rarely disagree on these things. I think that midfield would be what I would go for, unless one of them have a knock or whatever. But definitely, yeah.
Okay. What about you? Have I asked you, Jay? I'm sorry, because I'm trying to read these.
It's cool. I would just go with the 3 we're using all the time: Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Maka. But also good from yesterday's game was Endo and Curtis Jones getting a bit of a game time. So we know if they need to be subbed on, I'll trust them a little bit more now. I think Curtis Jones in the last 2 games did okay, he's playing football, and that's a good thing. And Endo, how he played yesterday, respect. You can chuck him on with 20 minutes to go if we're winning 2-3-0. You can trust him to do a job. So that was a good thing from yesterday's game as well.
Yes, it certainly was. And James A says, Frank, formation will be 4-2-3-1. So Diaz, Jota, Salah, Nunes at the top.
I'll take that. That'd be cool.
I'll take that. That's a cracking comment. It really is. Okay, Brian, who's your midfield?
I like the mid we had against Bournemouth. Gravenberch, and McAllister and Szoboszlai. Those 3.
Okay. All right then. So we've got that all lines. So we've got the total lineup there. And now what I need is your predictions. And I'm going to start with you, JK.
That's what I always do. That I do it.
Do you know when you say like who's you wanted up front, either the Nunes or the Jota, and it's I think Jota or I think Nunes. You write out with the question, the answer you see. But when you ask for predictions, it's always there's always
that. That's the thought process you go through, isn't it? When you make that, you're thinking, okay, it's going to be 3-0 to us. Let's go with that.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, I was thinking 3-0, but then I don't know. Maybe 4. Let's go 4. Like we're coming off a bit. We're a bit hot at the moment, aren't we? So yeah, I'll go 4-0. Yeah.
Okay. Brian.
That's good one. They're playing in the Mullen there. Anyway, 4-1 us.
4-1.
Okay.
But it won't be an easy 4-1.
All right. All right. Sean.
Well, Adam was just copying me there because he knew my prediction. And Mighty Reds 97 does kind of a prediction video. And I have come out and I have said, I'm just going to throw caution to the wind because I haven't been able to predict the score yet. So I reckon 4-0. I'm just going 4-0. Feck it. 4-0.
Okay.
Well, all right. Let's go through. So I want to ask you a question. Think about this.
Okay.
Think about this as I read these out. Okay. So just think that I'm going to use. Is it unfair? Is it unfair that Curtis Jones is getting stick from Liverpool fans? Just think about it and I'll get to you. I'm just going to read these out. 3-1 to Liverpool, says Daryl Merry. Ian Max says 4-1 to the Reds. James A says 4-1 to us. If we beat Wolves, maybe Jurgen Klopp will be blamed for it. If we don't beat Wolves, Jurgen Klopp. The sideline says 3-0 Liverpool win. Anyway, Wolves are a very good, better down position, says James. 2-1, he says for us. I think 2-1, says IBR. Okay, right. I'm going to start. I'm sorry to go straight to you, JK. Is it unfair the way some Liverpool fans are giving Curtis Jones some stick?
For me, Curtis Jones and Diaz weren't my favourite players going, say, 2 years ago, But I never really give them any stress, like dissing them, they're rubbish, get them out of the club, blah, blah, blah. And I think sometimes football fans, like, took things out the pram, like a bit over the top with it. At the end of the day, Curtis Jones knows before us what he needs to do to be a better footballer. He wants to be a better footballer. He ain't coming just to get paid 15 grand a week, what he gets. And that's another bit of a joke there. But for me, Curtis Jones knows he wants to be a better player for Liverpool. I feel he could have done more in those years he's been with us. But for me, I don't like when fans diss their own players, social media, videos, this, that, and the other. At the end of the day, that guy could score a winner in the next game, and then you're going to say, oh, he's great. So in other words, you're full of shit. You know what I mean? So.
Okay. What about you, Adam?
I was only saying the other day that I think that this could potentially be Jones's last season at the club. Like, I think a part of the reason why he's being kept around a little bit is for that homegrown quota. Not gonna lie. I don't think he's the worst player in the squad. Like, I don't think he is, but I don't think he's up there with, like, I don't think he gets into starting 11. For me as well, he's probably not one of the first people that comes off the bench either. Like, if Elliott were fit, I'd pick Elliott over Jones. I don't know, like, I don't think he's really found his position, if that makes sense. Because I think he started out on the wing as a youngster, didn't he? And then he got brought into midfield by Klopp. And then in the pre-season, he was playing as like a bit of a DM like McAllister is. But then yesterday, when he played further up where Szoboszlai played, he looked all right. But first half of that game, I thought it was a little bit shaky yesterday. I'm not going to lie, but that could just be down to rust as well. like I say, you shouldn't be giving people like stick and everything like that just because they have a bad game or whatever, and calling your own players out like you were saying then. But realistically, I don't know. I think he could be upgraded upon. I think, yeah.
Okay. What about you, Brian? Is it unfair that he's getting stick?
That's a tough one. Well, two minds on Curtis Jones. You know what? Short answer. No, not really.
Okay. What about you, Sean? How do you think he's getting unfair stick?
I you see, it really depends on the level of unfair stick he's getting. I've seen quite a lot of abuse online hurled
Yeah,
at
that's what I'm
the likes
saying.
of Nunes, the likes of Kwanzaa, and the likes of Jones, which I don't think any true fan should ever do. There is an Irish Liverpool TikToker slash podcaster who's in the wars at the moment, and he was shouting about Nunes and go back to where you came from and this kind of thing. And then one minute he's then saying, when he comes good, he says, "Oh, Nunes, I never doubted you." So I think people
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
yeah, I think people need to realize that if you're in a pub and you're with fellow Liverpool fans, your fellow supporters, and you're watching a game, or even if you're in the cop or wherever, the last thing that you are expected to do is to start slating the players. What we're meant to do is we're meant to be egging them on to get to improve, get a good game and whatever. So I disagree with any sort of stick. You can give supportive criticism. You could say he's not had a good game. You could say this could be his last season, because they're facts. They're facts. It could be anyone's last season. I don't think you should go online and start
Okay.
threatening them or whatever. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's out of bounds. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I was passively listening to you. No, I agree with everything Sean said. Yeah, you don't need to start talking about him, about players and their mothers or players and family and stuff. Yeah, a bad game had a bad game. So from that standpoint, my answer is yeah. I mean, stick no. If it's criticism, yes. But if you can be personal, no. Sorry, I had to clarify.
Well, I think the Mighty Reds has come up there with a cracker, and this is what I was going to say myself.
Yeah.
The Jota goal was Jones at his best, driving from deep, laying it off, receiving it against and playing a lovely through ball. And that ball for Jota was sublime. One of the best little passes I've seen. And I've seen some fantastic passes. But that right through that fella's legs, he knew exactly where he was putting it. And the weight of the pass for the Jota just to run on and hit it. It was a fun, and that's why the players all went over to, if you remember, they all went so. I didn't know that it went through his legs or anything, but I knew. And do you know what? I don't know whether you see it on the telly or what. I don't know. But he had the ball, and he was just outside the yard box, and he was two players around him, and he went around them. He just came out of them, and he was away then, and he put the ball out to the left. Cracking ball, and that opened up the whole of their defence. It opened it all up, and then it was put back to him, to Curtis, and he put it through those legs. Absolutely brilliant ball, brilliant goal. That's Curtis Jones, and he still never got praise. That's the only praise I've seen there by the Midnight Reds.
I think he's got an amazing amount of potential, and it's just frustrating for a lot of us knowing that he has potential and that he doesn't always, he doesn't always, get the best out on the pitch. But, he scored some cracking goals, and he's set up some cracking goals as well. But I definitely wouldn't be critical of the kid or Kwanzaa for that matter.
No, Quanza's quality. That lad, he's filling out as well, from like a young lad, he's filling out. He's going to be a colossus. He really is.
Yeah, Kwanzaa's going to be a player. Yeah.
The best response I have ever heard from a young lad when Matip got injured was, "It's unfortunate that he got injured, but now it's my time to shine." That's basically what he said.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, fair play to you. And, I'm talking about like the criticism he got over the Manchester United goal.
Yeah.
Fans went absolutely, some fans, I won't even call them fans, but they slated him. Absolutely slated him.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It is, and it's wrong because I know someone last night said, not on here, someone said about young Bradley. He got changed once, Bradley. And Bradley was absolutely brilliant. He was brilliant throughout that game.
Yeah. Great.
He's a fantastic right back.
Yeah.
And he's a kid.
And remind me who gave him his chance.
Oh yeah.
Remind me.
Sorry.
No, I'm not saying you remind me. I'm saying to the
Midnight.
Reminds me.
Right. Yeah. But it's and James says, Frank, I think Jones and Elliott will be sold next summer to fund a big player next summer. No idea, but I can see it personally. Now that's his opinion, you see. And James is a good, he puts great comments out. And to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me, to be honest. And that's what I was going to say. If the Anfield Road, have you seen Redbears? Where is he? Because Taz has just reminded me there.
Yeah, I haven't seen Redbird for a long time, actually.
Well, I hope he's all right,
Yeah, I hope he's okay, actually. Yeah. I'm going to try to find out.
I just hope he is. And Mark Simons. Now Mark lives in Mark lives in Gibraltar, and I keep saying to him, give Gibraltar back to the Spanish. That's my little give it back to the Spanish. Anyway, Curtis is what Guti was at Real Madrid. He costs nothing, and his wages are the lowest in the squad. So I don't see him leaving right now. He is still young, international, and always had the tools. Bang on. That's a cracking comment. I like that comment. Because we don't criticise players, We get behind them. We don't criticise managers. We do sometimes, obviously, by I criticise Klopp by sometimes as terrible substitutions and whatever. So, they are there to be criticised because we love the team.
Yeah.
We just love the team. As I said before, boys, we're not like FSG out. We're just fans, but we will call them out for the lack of investment. They'll always get called out with me and you and everybody else, who sees them for what they are. But, we get behind the team. We'll get behind this fella as well.
In saying that, Frank, I've always wanted to be FSG sorted out, but a leopard never finds its spots. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, it's true. True.
Of course, I will call FSG out where it needs be, but I'm not going to call them out if we miss a signing. I'll call it out on missed investment, necessary spending. That's when I'll call it out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, no, I'll call it out if we start playing those. I'll just call them those Diego Aspas games or whatever. You identify the target, and the offer is say just throw some numbers out. If it's 30 million and you come in with a 20 million, and then another 7 days you come back with a 24 million. I mean, Aspas was what, well, context was what they asked what 11 million, and we first went in with an 8 offer. Then it went to 9 offer, and then finally they came and met the 11 million. I mean, and that took what 2.5, 3 weeks. That I will call out. Again, I'm not pocket watching, but things like that, you're gonna haggle over $2 million or £2 million or whatever. You know, that's ridiculous. So
Yeah,
it was same with Clint Dempsey as well. Do you remember that when we could have got him from Fulham, and then we were like arguing over like $500,000 or something.
that's when I started Fenway We Come Not to Pay.
Yes,
that's when I started that, and it was a video, and you know, I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning this. It was a video that Dunk did where he nearly lost his trolley. I mean, he was wearing glasses at the time, and they were fogged up to hell, and he was going ballistic, and I was like, "That's it," and I had set it up, and I was, and I mean, Anne, or is it Norm? Anne or Norm?
It's Norman.
Norman, okay.
Yeah.
If you remember FSG, or when Ian Ayre left Liverpool, the Fenway Echo did a 2-week tribute to the man. A 2-week tribute. You know, why? He was an internet meme.
Exactly. Well, the Anfield Road comes out with a cracker there. Curtis has the ability, but he has got it. He's got the mentality to push into the first team week in, week out. For me, he should be ahead. For me, he should be ahead of Szoboszlai. But right now, he is behind Gravenberch. I see him as a 10, but show it. This is what JK and myself have said. There are 2 players that should be, you know, this season, and that's Darwin and Curtis Jones. But I like Curtis Jones, and I totally agree with the Anfield Road there. I really do. Because, as I said, you know, we shouldn't criticise players. Because, you know, once you see who we've had in the past, the likes of Balotelli, good God, you know, the likes of Lambert, Ricky Lambert, being sold, you know, being swapped for Suarez.
Ricky Lambert was fatter than me, and even in the FIFA game, he was fatter than me. Like, you just see this big stumpy fella. I mean, God love him. I mean, replacing Suarez with Ricky Lambert and Balotelli. Oh,
right.
And Barini.
Barini.
Barini, I know. Do you know why he did that? Do you know when he scored a couple of goals? Do you know when he did that?
He scored.
Yeah, we didn't see it often.
I never thought of that. I always thought that he went for the Roman, you know, the Roman saw for the victory. That's what they used to do, the Romans. Bite on the saw for victory. But yeah, I can't believe he scored.
Crikey, went in.
Right, lads, I'm going to have to jump off. I've got another start at morning.
Yeah, I'm just, honestly,
I
think it's a great, it's been a great pleasure. It really has. It's been great. Adam, thank you for jumping on, you know, at the last minute, and you as well, Sean. Sean was waiting there, you know, for me to come on because there is a few things out. And it's been really,
I appreciate it, mate. Thank you.
Pleasure. Honestly,
see you later, guys. Thank you.
Yeah,
bye bye.
Yeah,
cheers, Adam.
Yeah, take care, Adam.
Lovely fella. Then, are you going as well?
He was.
Are you off?
No, I can stick around for as long as you're doing the show.
Oh, great. Well, I just want to go through a few comments and then we'll pack it up. Frank, says James, I'm from the South End, who has little contracts, brother. I played for Liverpool as a kid, but the smell of the... Oh, come on, James, come on. God, blimey. I remember being an altar boy, and we had to get dressed in the house for some reason. I think there was something wrong, with the vestry in the church, and I had to walk right through, dressed up as an altar boy. But anyway, so we got dressed up, and I'm in the house, like a big dope, little dope. And I'll never forget, this lady came in, one of the neighbours, one of the mothers, and went like, he's going to be a lovely priest when he grows up. And I'm glad she didn't know what I got up to when I got a bit older. To be a priest.
Frank, I was an altar boy too.
Was you?
I was pushed into it.
Well, this is it. One of my mates, he had, like, the curly hair, a big bushy curly hair he had. Big bush like that. And we were saying benediction.
Yeah.
Remember the benediction? I got called for it. I had to go along. And we were on the altar steps, and we had them big candlesticks and the big candle. And he fell asleep. His hair was on fire. His hair was just smoke. And I was like that. I didn't know what to do. The priest, and one of the, there was another fella there, another priest. And he ran over and started going like that with his head.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had the misfortune of holding the cross at Easter, and I tripped over me Satan or whatever you call it, and nearly decapitated the bishop. So that was the end of my altar boy career.
I don't remember that, honestly, because some of the things, but that's what we were like. I'm not saying forced into. I think that when the mothers talk to the priest and you see you there, and once you can say like in nomine patria filii spiritus sancti, they think, oh yeah, you know all the Latin, and you'll be a great altar boy and a great priest. But a couple of people from my neighbourhood who were knew well, became priests. One lad now is in South America. He's in South America. I don't know whereabouts. I think he was in Colombia, Bolivia at one stage. But, God knows where he is now, So, yeah. And James says, Frank, do you remember in the 80s when for charity, half Liverpool and half AFC played half Man United and City at Goodison? We played Stoke schoolboys half time. We won 3-1, scored a bit. No, I don't remember that.
Didn't hear that.
Don't remember that at all, honestly. And James A, did you train them with black Adidas sweaters? They're all talking to themselves. Here. Anyway, I'll tell you what. That's it. We'll finish off. I think that's a correct. That miss at Goodison from Joe Allen. Suarez went ballistic at him. A tap in, City. Yes. But I tell you what. Joe Allen, and this is journalist. I thought he was awful. I thought he was awful. And do you ever remember when he grew a beard? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the new season starts and he had a beard. And the lads are calling him Palo. We've got Palo. They're calling him Palo.
Didn't Rodgers call him the Welsh Savvy?
Yeah, yeah,
The Welsh Savvy, great
yeah.
character, great character. I met him at a Christmas party with James McLean and Charlie Adams, and it was in the same place. It was the Marker Hotel in Dublin. It was really fancy hotel, very expensive. It was like 4-course meal and an orchestra playing whatever. But one of my work colleagues bumped into them and wouldn't stop leaving. He wouldn't leave them alone, and he called me up and he says, "Come on, Sean, come on." So James McLean says, "Look, I'll get a picture with you if you just get your friend away from me." So I said, "Okay." Charlie Adams wasn't very nice. Joe Allen was a lovely guy. He was really nice guy. But yeah, I remember the beard. He looked like, if anyone is a wrestling fan, he looked like Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryan.
And you know what? You know, we've had some, as I said, we've had some terrible players. And one of the greatest stories I was told, though, was of George Scott. And there used to be a centre forward. And I was telling her, George, you know, I said, I always remember Alvaro Smith. I said, as when substitutes first came out. And anyway, he was a sub. And he come running on the pitch and, you know, kicking about. And the ball came over. And he kicked the floor. He kicked the ground, the pitch.
Yeah.
And Bob Paisley had to carry him off and we had no sub because there was only one sub. And I told George that. He said, I remember that. And anyway, he went like that. He said, another time, he said, Alvaro Smith went up for the head and this fella headed him at the back of the head. And he went down like a bag of rags and he was just lying there. And he was unconscious, you know. And anyway, Bob Paisley ran on. And he was looking at, and he came coming around, and Bob shouted over to he said, he doesn't know who he is. He said, tell him he's Pele.
I heard that.
You know, that's Shankly. That's Shankly. Tell him he's Pele. You know.
I'm going to have to get George's book because I'm just waiting on payday, but I have to get George's book.
Yeah, do you know what, Seano? He brought a book down yesterday for me, you know, to give to one of the lads, Paul Bear, and he signed it for this fella. And it was a great message he put on him because the lad's, you know, not too good. And he watches the show and that, you know.
Yeah.
And he watched George coming on every Tuesday. And he signed it. And what a lovely message he put for him.
Oh, that's lovely.
So anyway, he came down for it this morning and he was absolutely delighted, Paul Beck, you know, to bring it up to his mate who's not too good, unfortunately.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
It's just, do you know what? Do you ever remember this?
Paul Konchesky.
Paul Konchesky's mum. And she had to go at us because we were saying he was awful. And he was. He was shocking.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, she had to go at all the Liverpool fans. Stop picking on my lad. She was saying, stop picking on him.
That's dreadful.
Let's tell him to play better. He was saying, oh, so much.
Didn't Harry Maguire's mother do the same thing? Harry Maguire's mother did the same thing, I think.
Yeah. I think Mrs. Konchesky got hold of her and said, hey, you tell them, oh, your lad. He's, the Midnight Talk said, should do a podcast on the all-time worst Liverpool 11. It always makes for a good... And you're right. You're absolutely right. Absolutely. And the Anfield Roar says, George Scott, Anfield Roar, if you get hold of Redbear, please give him my regards because I think, please, you know, on JK's as well. Mm-hmm. You know, he's been with us for ages and I hope he's all right.
Top lad, Redbeard.
I just hope he's all right.
Yeah.
And James says, Iago Aspas, another beauty. Or Mama, I like Sissoko. I like
Sissoko as
Well,
well.
was
Yeah.
that Mamadou Sakho? Yes, Sakho. Yeah, another beauty. But I liked Sissoko, Momo Sissoko.
Yeah.
I thought he was good. He had a terrible eye injury, didn't he? And that ruined him. That
That's
ruined
right, he
him.
did. Yeah.
What about Milan Jolovic?
Oh,
Remember
Oh God.
God. And there's Norman, Paul Stewart, and
Paul
Istvan.
Stewart.
I mentioned him on some pod yesterday.
Yeah.
Istvan Cosma.
Kevin
Gee.
Stewart or Jordan Ives that you're talking about?
Yeah, he plays for. I think it's a non-league side now.
I think he retired.
Jordan Ives does, yeah.
I think so, anyway. And James says, hey Frank, I played with Macca, Carra, Fowler, was year below, but Macca and myself were strikers, but I was better, so they put Macca on the wing. A little claim to fame for me. That's
There
good,
you go.
that, James.
That's good. Wow.
That's good, that. That's brilliant.
You need to come on the show. Tell us some stories.
Yeah, would you do that? Would you do that, James? Have you on? And James, Anthony Max saying, James, I must have been some cracking players at Liverpool boys. Didn't Gary Ablett and Mike Marsh go through the route yet?
Mm-hmm.
He actually did.
Bless you.
Conan, do you ever
Ronan,
remember?
yeah.
Sean Dundee.
Sean
The midnight.
Oh, Lord God.
Sean Dundee.
And James says Momo was under Benitez, he was. What about Janovic? Lord, that was oh, I know. Joe Cole?
Joe Cole.
Joe Cole. Yeah,
Got
he was no
a
Bruno
red
Chaver,
card in
was
his
he?
debut. I'll give you another one. When you hear this.
Yeah.
The worst number 9 for Liverpool, El Hadj Diouf.
Oh
God, what a scrub!
He was horrible.
Just
well, when I was I was teaching in some school, evening work it was, classes, and one of the girls, one of the teachers, friend of mine, very good friend of mine, and she was a steward. She loved Liverpool, big red, And anyway, she was at a match, and I forget what it was. It was a midweek match, and Doof actually spat. I think it was we were playing Celtic.
Yeah.
Spat out of their fan.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
He had murder with him. When they were coming off. She said, "Don't you dare do that." Anyway, that passed, and she told me, and I was sick. Then Houllier made. Did you ever remember the? Do you ever remember the excuse Houllier made over that spitting thing?
No, I don't remember him say that.
Yeah, he made it. He made it. Anyway, he said, "It's you shouldn't really criticize them because it's their culture."
Yes. That now rings a bell.
And a lot of people turned against Gerrard.
Yeah.
What, spitting's part of someone's culture?
Yeah, whatever culture it was, and it wasn't. No one does that. No one spits. That it's an insult in any culture.
Who referred to him as a sewer rat? I can't think. Oh my God, I'm trying to think of what manager. Oh my God, he only retired recently.
For Liverpool, for us.
No. I think he used to be the QPR manager.
Oh, Warnock, was it?
Warnock, yeah.
Warnock. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He he referred to El Hadj Diouf as a Surat. A Surat. And El Hadj Diouf, every opportunity he gets, he's constantly slating Liverpool, the city of Liverpool, Liverpool fans, Liverpool players, including Steven Gerrard. So, yeah, hate him.
Scumbag, yeah. He's a sewer rat. That's a good descriptor.
Yeah.
It is,
But he did
it
the
is
same thing at Rangers. He spat out a fan at Rangers as well.
really,
Mm.
It
really.
raises. I'm surprised he didn't catch a Stanley. A close shave or whatever. I mean, really spitting on someone? That is vile.
Oh,
I mean, I'll just say it needs to say if he did that here in the States, well, that would be a much different story.
that would be, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely. He wouldn't get away with it, that's for sure.
No, he would not. No, it'd be a road to Damascus moment for him.
I think it's shocking, though, for anyone to spit.
Yeah.
It's just horrible. I don't know what they get out of it. It's vile, but that's the way it is. And as the Toker said, there was a scumbag in with his spitting, and he was. And for Houllier to make excuses,
Yeah.
that was shocking.
Yeah.
It's like someone murdering someone, and you go, "Oh, he didn't mean it. He's a good lad."
Yeah.
It's
whatever about culture. It's not the Liverpool culture to do that.
No.
To any fan, rival
Right.
or your own fan, and he has a due diligence to the club, the same way as Suarez did, to respect, to show respect to the club he plays for, and the fans that pay their money, and that's it.
Yeah. Titty Kamara, cult hero. And he was
Titty. Sorry,
yes, absolutely.
Titty Kamara. And he was a cracking fella, wasn't he? He was nice, just nice. Titty.
Yeah. I'm just after saying I love Titty, which sounds
right.
just.
Angela said. Yeah.
What a left foot, though.
That's
He
a
had
shocking
cannon,
name.
yes.
That's a shocking name for the fans to call him.
Titty Kamara.
I said, no, that's his name. She said, no one has got a name like Titty. She wouldn't have it.
And Norma, I do love Titty.
What's got a name like Titty?
And you know what? The jersey that reminds me of Titty Kamara is the green one with the black.
Yes.
And
the Carlyle one, yeah.
Oh my God, I
love that kit. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know what kit I love? And I'm going back to the 60s, right? I think the 70s as well. Sometimes the away kit I'm talking about, and we had a bit of it the other week. Black shorts, white top, white socks. And that's going back to the 60s. I loved that. And the Live a Birthday, I loved it. I really loved it. And, when I seen it, I remember when we played Man United and beat them 5-0 in that kit. And we played, didn't we, the other week? Didn't we play the other week in a black and white strip? I'm sure we did.
It's hard to watch. That was my first game as a kid. The FA Cup in '77. It had the black pants, white shirt.
That's it. That's what I loved. I loved that.
Oh, no. It's just bad luck to me ever since.
I loved it, honestly. That's it. Midnight Toker says, Titty used to strip off when the fans started chanting his name. Where's he once subbed himself and again he subbed himself. I don't know about that. Very fantastic. Oh, Myra Page. Hiya, Myra. I haven't seen you there. Oh, Oh, smashing.
Here's one. Would you have kept Nicholas Anelka after that trial?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Nicholas Anelka was absolutely brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant. And the excuses, it was just because Houllier didn't like him for some reason. And the excuses was that his brothers were demanding all this, and they came out, the lads, and said, no, we never, because they were his agent. No, we didn't. And Nicholas Anelka loved Liverpool.
Oh, that one hurt.
It hurt a hell of a lot of us. I made up to see him, Ira. Really made up. And Norman says in 1987 League Cup final versus Arsenal, white shirt, black shorts, Alan Hansen looked class in it. The Anfield Road. Titi Kamara was great in the press.
He did see image of him. That's brilliant.
That's cold.
Brian, you may get this reference. I was on AKM LFC there one week, and we're talking about Diaz, and there's a guy that comes on to our stream called Muscusi, and he said Diaz looks like Willie Gonzalez from Ghost. Do you remember Willie Gonzalez, the guy that
Yeah.
And I googled it, and I cannot unsee it.
Willie Gonzalez.
Oh, you have to
Don't
Google
let him
it.
yell, no.
Yeah.
God.
And now you can't unsee it now.
I can't unsee it now. Thank you.
That's all I think now. That's all I can think of now.
The Midnight Soccer says Anelka was gutted when he had to leave.
He would have done amazing things.
He was. And Norman says Anelka was a great player. He destroyed Newcastle the night the lights went out on the Kop.
The bad guy in Ghost, yeah.
Well, he killed
Patrick Swayze. Yeah.
Killed him.
He was the first bad guy to get killed in Ghost, where all the demons kind of came out of the street.
Yeah, the manhole, and just he grabbed him.
And then they start dragging him. He's like this.
Like, no.
But, yeah.
I watched the film, and Eddie Marsan. I think Eddie Marsan's a great English actor.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a fantastic actor. He's not one of these handsome fellas or anything like that. He's not one of them, he's no Brad Pitt or anything. And he worked for the city council.
Oh, did he?
And what he did, it's a cracking film. I'll try and find out the title of it and tell you. Not now, obviously. Anyway, what he does, his job, he's got a little office and he's only on his own. He's not married or anything, and he's just a worker. And he goes to people's homes who have died, but died on their own, because there's no one around.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so emotional. And the ending, big ones coming down, honestly. It was incredible. And I told Jared, I said, watch it, Jared. And he watched it and he went, yeah, big. I'm not telling you what he called me. But it was brilliant. I can't find out what it was. Anelka was the definition of a journeyman. He's been, yes, you're right, Yusuf.
Yes.
You're right. And here Max says, apparently Anelka's brothers were negotiating with Arsenal to resign him behind Julier's back. Once he found out what was going on, he was fuming and the deal was screwed to be bought. Doof.
Oh, okay. Okay, I can understand that.
And,
But still.
do you know what? There's a cracking thing, and he's right here. He was drank too well or Old Trafford.
Have you seen the new plans for the new Old Trafford? It looks like a B-day, which I think is suitable for them.
Yeah, only.
It looks like a B-day, or looks like one of those bedpans, you know, when you're in hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's shocking, like, because
that's
it's called the old toilet, isn't it? Now?
Yeah, exactly.
The old toilet. And what about Mark Simons? Lucho is Boney M.
Oh, that's another.
He looks like him. He looks
God,
like
Daddy, cool. Well done.
Daddy, cool.
Boney M. Wow.
And
he was lip syncing before Liza Minnelli. Or Milli Vanilli, not Liza Minnelli.
Yeah, Milli Vanilli. I'm sure Liza lip sync too.
Have you ever seen Will Ferrell in Lands of the Lost?
No.
Oh, it's brilliant. He's this professor. Oh, you know, it's so funny. Anyway, I'll just give you a scene of it. He's got a time machine. He made a time machine, and he can go. He thought he was going back in time, and he went into the future. You know, and it was a pack of. It was just like, I don't know. It was like desert or something like that. And anyway, there's a scene in it where there's these big, like crystals. You know, like big crystals. And he goes, hello. And it goes, oh. And he starts singing, you know, a song. I believe in love. You know, that's, yeah.
Oh, God, that one. Yeah.
He was with that other actor, McBride. I think I forget his first name.
Danny
McBride, that's it. And they're singing, you know, they're on each side of these crystals. I believe in love.
Oh.
Anyway, that's enough of that. Norman's going to bed. Good night, Charlo, J.K. Bryan, and of course the number one and only Des Lynam. Big flat up.
Bless Norman.
James says, Frank, I've subscribed. How often do you go live so I can tap in? I've found a great podcast. Thank you, James.
Nice one, James.
We go out every Tuesday and Thursday. It depends if Liverpool are playing, you say, on a Tuesday in the Champions League, so we won't be going out then. But it's every Tuesday and Thursday, and we're doing we do post matches especially. So this is like a pre-match. So on Saturday we're doing a post match. If you want to join us.
I'll put in Sean's link in there as well, so you can subscribe to that as well.
Okay.
Appreciate that, guys. Thank you.
And what I want to do before we go, I want to show this again, if you don't mind. James, you'll be made up with this. Oh, that Martian film was called Still Life. Yes.
Still Life.
Yes. Watch it. Please watch it. It's a cracker. It really is a cracker. Still, well done, Mark. God bless. He's the Oracle. Incredible.
I actually chatted to the original Oracle, you know, from the Matrix, the woman who actually wrote the book and the Terminator. She's from America, and she never really got any any thanks for the script or nothing. I think them Polish two sisters, two brothers, I don't know what they are. They took the Wachowski brothers.
Yeah, and she's from the US. Really nice woman, man.
Well, they
Well,
were brothers before they were sisters, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I loved the little gif at the end of the midnight soca. Anyway, he says, "Good night, chaps," and all the lovely people in the chat up their heads. And look at, he's got a little smile with a halo around his head. Oh,
Good
you
night,
can't
midnight
make,
toker. Yes. I'm looking
you
at that
can't
Old
make
Trafford.
stuff
Bless
up.
Stoker.
I'm looking at that Old Trafford plans. Oh my God, that is hideous. I'm sorry to
It is
jump back there.
terrible, isn't it?
It's
So
not
what
nice.
was designed that wasn't selected? That's the scary thing. I mean,
That's
this is the
brilliant.
one that won. I mean, that's awful. So,
It is awful.
it's a
You know.
bedpan. It really is.
Have you
I
noticed
mean,
they all look like toilet seats, like
Oh,
most
it
of the
is.
stadiums?
Yeah. Well,
They look like
right.
toilet seats.
Yeah.
well, Ian Max says,
Oh, go on.
midnight, he says, midnight, lads, sweet dreams of Jürgen.
Oh, wow.
Bless Ian.
That's great, absolutely brilliant. You can't beat The Godfather, in my opinion. Say, yeah, best film ever
Classic.
made.
Yeah, class.
Best film ever made. But what comes close to it? Listen, James, I do a film and TV review at 10:30 every Saturday morning. If you want to have a look at that.
Oh, do you?
What comes near is what comes near. I'm gonna tell Brian something so funny. Honestly, wait till I just finish this. The film that comes close is The Wild Bunch. Right, for me, The Wild Bunch.
Okay.
Unbelievable. Senpai. Now listen to this, Brian. Right. When I was married, okay?
hmm
And what had happened I used to have to go to the theatre and whatever. And I had to see a play, and I wanted to see it, by the way. I wanted to see a play. Are you still there, Brian?
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay. Do you ever remember a play or a film as well? It was made into a film called Fences.
Yes, that's the play
Fences.
of James Earl Jones
It was a
and
race
Denzel.
thing.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And anyway, I had to go and see it. Someone said, "You've got to go and see this Fences." And I said, "Okay, do a review on it." And so anyway, I went, "Oh, I don't fancy this at all." And when I seen who was in it,
hmm
the star in it was, do you ever remember an actor by the name of Yaphet Kotto?
Yes.
Right, get onto this.
Okay.
Yaphet Kotto. Like, I'd seen him in Midnight Run, I'd seen him in Alien, big actor.
hmm
And I went like that, big Hollywood A-lister. So I was made up to go and see it. So anyway, I'm sitting there, watched it. Great it was. It was really good. The storyline is absolutely amazing, when you get the storyline through it.
hmm
Anyway, at the end, I went like that. I knew one of the girls who worked there. I said, "Is there any chance of getting your Fat Cotto's autograph?" She said, "Yeah, follow me." So I went with her, waited for people to go. I followed her and went down this little alley and and I was just standing there like a dope. And then walked with a couple of other people. Your Fat Cotto.
hmm
Huge. Dead
Oh,
tall.
he's a big guy, isn't he?
Like that. And I went, "Oh, can I have your autograph, please?" Because he had me photograph. Well, here's the crux of it. So he signed it, shook my hand, and he said, "We're going for a beer. Would you like to join us?" I said, "I can't. I've got to get back." And I was fearing that, where you have a regret all your life. That was one of my regrets. I couldn't go for a beer with him.
Oh no.
So it didn't go. But anyway, there's the beauty of it.
Oh, he would have had some stories too. So I remember that a
But
few years ago, he was talking about he said he had some sort of lineage to the royal family or some sort of familial connection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But get onto this.
Yeah.
It's the crescendo, right? So
Oh, sorry. Go on. Yeah.
during the day, I said to Julie, me wife, then I said, listen, I've got to go and see a play tonight. So she said, shall I go with you? I said, well, I said, yeah, if you want. And anyway, in the meantime, I thought she was going to come with me. But a friend phones up and said, Julie, we're doing something and, like friends, and do you fancy coming along? So anyway, she phoned me up and she said, I won't be able to go with you tonight. I said, okay. Okay. So anyway, I told her like about the play, told her who was in it. Yeah? You fat cut over. So they said, where's Frank? And she says he's gone to see a play, and Yasser Arafat's in it.
Yasser Arafat.
When I got home, and I was talking to her, she said, I went down, she told her, all right, no problem. And she said, I told her you went to see a play with Yasser Arafat. And I said, what?
Yasser Arafat.
God, and you know what? It's just mad, when things like that. I know I went around the world just to tell you that, but so funny. Yasser Arafat.
Oh, it's hilarious. Yasser Arafat. See, I would have asked him about Alien, would have asked him about Live and Let Die, James Seymour, but that's just us talking.
Yeah. Live and Let Die, because I think that was one of his first films, wasn't it? Live and Let Die. Where he was he became a star, didn't he, in the James Bond one. I thought he was a great actor. And anyway, I got to shake his hand, got his autograph, and that was it. Mark Simon says the woman who wrote The Matrix was Sophie Stewart. She was ripped off by Warner Brothers. And Lawrence Fishburne, who played Morpheus, backed her up, was so blackballed and left out of the last month. Go away. He's one of my favourite actors, Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, that's the name. Sophie Stewart. Yeah, I chatted to her.
Really?
Interesting. Yeah.
Go away.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is what I mean about a lot of films. I reckon that happened to a lot of people. Wrote stories, they got taken off them or whatever, and they pimped them up and made big money out of it. Nice one, Mark.
Wow. That's.
She wrote the Terminator as well. Terminator. Yeah.
But
how big was that?
That Lawrence Fishburne, he's one of my favourite actors.
Yeah, top actor.
He's he's been in some cracking films.
Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
And look what happened to him then. He's such a top guy. He sort of supported her, and he was left out of the last film. He was saying, So.
Well, that's why you say they get back at you.
Yeah.
They get back at you some way or the other, and it's wrong. It's wrong. He was in a film called Predators with what's his bloody name? What's his name?
The nose, Adrian. Adrian. What is it?
It's only a
Brody,
short
Brody.
name. It's your surname, isn't it? Adrian.
Adrian Brody.
Thank you. Adrian Brody. And even James says, look, he knew he'd say it. Event Horizon, very good. It was a great film, that, to be honest, James. Event Horizon. It was clever. It was a clever film. But he was in this Predators with Adrian Brody. I thought Predators was a smashing film, by the way.
Yeah,
it really was good. And Lawrence Fishburne was in that, but he was a baddie in it.
I remember that
You get
film. It was
stuck
a
on
great film.
You get stuck on a planet with a bunch of predators. Yeah, you'd be a little off kilter too. I mean, he was a bit of a baddie. Well, I mean, the self-preservation element was strong.
Yeah. But you get these. I think you always had the likes of Richard Burton and The Voice.
Yeah.
And then fast forward, and one of the best voices today, and I think he's got a great voice, and that's Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of it was the remake of War of the Whales with Tom Cruise, and it's Morgan Freeman who's given out, the the narration, the introduction to it. Fantastic.
Oh, so
And so you have these great people with great voices, very distinctive.
Jeremy Irons, that is definitely one of them.
Yeah. Jeremy Irons.
Yeah, James Earl Jones, obviously gold standard.
Yeah. Brilliant actor.
Yeah. Well, back to Lawrence Fishburne though. Did you know that he was in Apocalypse Now?
Who?
Lawrence Fishburne.
No, I didn't. He must have been young. He must have been a young soldier.
Yeah. He was the front gunner on the boat. Martin Sheen and the team took up river. That was Lawrence Fishburne. Apparently, he lied about his age. He said he was 18. He was actually only 14 when he did the film. So,
was he? No way.
No. Yeah, that's what I saw in one of the liner notes, or the making of Apocalypse Now. That's Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah, he's young.
Well, Mark Simon says your fat Cotto Kananga from Live and Let Die, great actor. Yes, and do you know what? Your fat Cotto. Do you know that he was royalty? He was he stemmed from African royalty. Did you know that?
That's what he said. He was related to the royal family in the UK. Well, in your neck of the woods, yeah. So
it's incredible, isn't it?
Lad, I just came on just to bid you a good night because I have to leg it now. I have an early morning.
Where are you going?
I have to go. So this is a great show.
Oh, it's only 3:30.
Thanks a million for having us.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Are you having a post match on Saturday?
I'm not 100% sure yet.
Well, if you're not, do you fancy coming on here? We'll send you the link anyway.
Yeah, sure. Send it on, and I'll see. I might be hungover because I have a night out tomorrow night.
Okay, and Adam, if he's not doing anything.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. I'm sorry if there was any heat there earlier on.
No, it's all best. It's all good.
Yeah. Anyway, guys.
IVR says night show.
Yeah, night show. Yes.
And
appreciate it. Yes. And nice speaking to you, Brian.
Which is nice.
Good something we came out to say. Oh, one last thing too. No more stories about Night on the Guinness and midwives. I still laugh about that. You were talking about that on your show once. I was in tears. You said you needed a midwife after that night. So.
That is funny.
Anyway, take care. We'll talk soon.
Cheers. Appreciate it.
Cheers, mate. Thank you, Sean. Hope to see you Saturday. Cheers.
Talk to you soon.
I'll put Sean's link in the chat. Everyone, subscribe to him. All good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. He's a lovely fella, then. He really is. Oh. He's a lovely, lovely lad. And that's it. And Ian Mack says, right, lads, have a good one. Thank you, Ian Mack. And there's where we will finish. That's where we will finish because JK, he hasn't had his chips yet because he's been with us all night. He hasn't been out.
I ain't having them today. Bit too late.
You know what Jay's going to ask you for, don't you, for Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
A thumbnail.
So, yeah.
Don't forget that. And hopefully I'll see you on Saturday, mate.
Sorted. Look forward to it, the game.
And I'm going to ask if Brian, if you're doing that on Saturday, Brian, after the game, you'll be watching the game, won't you?
I'll be watching it. Yes.
Well, listen, if you fancy coming on,
Okay.
post-match, do you fancy it?
Oh, yeah, it should be around. It's an early. I think it's a 7:30 game for us, 8:30 game. So yeah, sure.
Excellent stuff.
Sorted.
Absolutely.
That's it. So we've got the panel sorted.
Okay.
Let's hope that we have a great game. And as Mark Simon says, Lawrence Fishburne was only 14. Exactly. This is what Brian said. And good night. Good film for you, Frank. Yeah, I've seen it. With Tim Robbins. It's a mad one, that.
Yeah.
It's a mad one. It's a bit frightening, isn't it, really, when you come to think of it. But anyway, JK, Brian, thank you so much.
Nice one.
Thank you.
Hopefully I'll
Cheers,
see you
JK.
all on there.
Nice meeting you, Brian, again.
Yeah, likewise. Good to see you.
It really is great to see you, Brian. Please believe that. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll talk offline. Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Good night, chat. Thanks, everybody, for keeping us all company, coming out with your great comments as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.